the Love of the Game podcast. I am your host, Mondre Allen, and we have not been canceled. This is amazing. We're on episode, what's this, episode 4?
Episode 4.
Episode 4. I've done this 4 times, and they have yet to tell me that I can't come back. I am shocked. I am proud. I am pleased and humbled all at the same time that y'all ain't got me up out of here. I have not cursed live on the air yet, and I'm happy about that. I've not said, I'm not even going to go through all the stuff that I haven't said because I'm not going to say it. Let's kick it off. To my left, former state champion, future state champion. My brother from Ben Hill.
Been real.
Keeping it real for Atlanta as always. He developed 3 NBA players on the same team at the same time in high school. And I was there to see it, and you did not want that smoke. Stop acting like you did, because you did not, my good sir. Coach Cabral, what's going on, brother?
What's good? What's good? Hey, I know Locke and Bryce, you know, they on their own thing.
Locke just set the game T-shirt
I know,
on fire last week.
So we had to come with a little something this week.
Yeah, he set the T-shirt game on fire last week.
Little sleeper gang apparel. My
Yes,
guy Devin Evans.
Hey, we repping.
You know, his family, they came out this for everybody who's not getting what they think they deserve, and still pushing it, grinding out there, working. This is for you. Follow them on IG, follow them on Facebook, follow them on Twitter @Sleepers Game. I like it. What you think, Mondre?
I'm feeling it. I'm rocking.
That's
with
like, never mind.
Go ahead. Hey, Bryce.
What size are those shirts? What size are those shirts?
Why I gotta hold on, bro? Hey, don't be fat shaming me on this podcast, Bryce. Don't be. It's always a skinny dude trying to. Skinny dudes be trying to fat
They
shame.
fit. They fit y'all real well. They fit real well.
What you trying to say? The big fellas, they fit us real
They like big and tall stores.
Man, I knew they were. Hey, man, it be your own people, dog.
Hey, man.
And I gotta announce him next.
No love lost, man. No love lost. No love lost. Future state champion.
Right.
Future state champion.
Let's get it. Hey, to my right, if you played against one of his teams in middle school, he broke y'all down.
About 40.
40, definitely.
Times.
Man
Many
has
times.
coached every 2021 kid that you can name that matters.
That matters.
And he didn't stop in middle school because over the last 2 seasons, if you played him in 17U, he probably beat you too. Shoe team, non-shoe team, didn't matter. He probably gave you that work.
Oh, not everybody.
Not everybody.
I mean, quite a few, but not everybody. I took some L's.
With $1 million worth of scholarships that touched his hand this past summer. Hottest man on the AAU circuit. Bryce Will, B. Will, what's good? Future state champion, my bad.
Future state champion. That's the only thing I have left is I need a ring, bro. I need a ring. Like I'm working on that. I'm working on it though.
Keep working.
No doubt.
I'm working hard. I'm gonna get it this year.
Hey, man,
I think 6A's tough.
6A's
It's
tough.
real
man.
tough.
6A's
Crazy.
tough.
It's tough.
crazy.
I'm gonna get it though.
But hey, shout out to TCP. Hey man, South Georgia's favorite son.
Oh yeah.
He repping today.
South Georgia's favorite son.
Oh yeah. You know I gotta represent, man. My dude Corey, man. Been listening since day one, man.
The South Georgia. I'm gonna say this for. I'm gonna say this, man. Let me say owner operator of Locksway Hoops.
Yeah.
The brainchild, the developer of the best freshman camp on the planet. We're talking about the best platform for ninth graders in the country is freshman U. Dante Madlock, what's good, bro?
Hey, Lost Way is the only way, man. We back at it again, man. Episode 4, man. It feels good, man. I got my blue on. Girl said I look good in blue. You know.
Hey, man, at least they tell you.
Coach Baldwin, he looked like one of your assistants.
I know, right? Hey.
Hey, fellas, how's everybody weekend, man? Well, it was active.
good.
Everybody was cool.
It was good, man. I went back
I
home.
was about to say, Locke went back home. You know that man.
Hey, man, I got to shout out some
made it
family
here.
real quick. Shout out to my family. Brandon Waters, our head coach at Georgia Man Up. His wedding was this weekend. Married his beautiful bride, Denal Meyer Waters. They looked incredible. Check out the Georgia Man Up team page on IG for pictures from the wedding. They were amazing. Brandon's done so much for kids in the community. Want to shout him out. And his lovely bride, who's so supportive and in the gym with him and support him as he's coaching and doing things. So wanted to shout them out. That's how my weekend went, man.
Shout out to United Basketball Clinics. Great clinic this weekend. Coach Sherman White, Alan Whitehart, Gene Durden, girls coach at Buford. Just three of the guys that did a great job on the floor stuff. It was great. Picked up a lot of great stuff. Matthew Smith runs it there in Atlanta all the time. Their big one is in Indiana at the site where they filmed the movie Hoosiers Gym. I think that might be a road trip for me next year to go to that one.
Let's do it. Hey, man, so I think we did, out of all the festive stuff, I think we did get some work done this weekend. We watched some basketball this
Yeah, I
weekend,
did.
too, fellas. We got
Yeah.
some kids to shout out.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
We had
Most definitely.
the HBCU Elite 80 camp was this weekend, was last weekend.
Last weekend.
Locke, I know he was in the building. What
Oh
we
yeah.
got?
Hey man, it was Chris Cameron. He was thrown by him. Cam Sports, Connect College Hoops is what he has, and I really, out of all the camps I've been to, honestly, that's probably one of my favorites. And just because I like to see kids that I never heard of, never seen before, and he had a few kids, and he had a lot of HBCU coaches out there. Not even just HBCUs, like JUCO coaches came out, Division II, NAIA, Division III prep schools, and I feel like it was a great format out there in Stone Mountain that he had. And the kids there, man, it was some talent. It
Definitely
was some talent, and it was a few big names out there too. Like one of the kids, I talked about him last episode. He just transferred, Zaudy Jackson.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, Zaudy after camp, I think he just got an offer from Morehouse and Columbus State.
Yep.
And Columbus State. And so I feel like having that platform with all those coaches, he may have went and gotten that.
For sure. I
And
think his
different
stock
things.
gonna rise again.
It is.
It's gonna rise. It's gonna continue to rise.
It really is. And him and everybody's favorite point guard, I think now, Roman Son. Roman Son from there was another.
He picked up some offers too.
Yeah, and because he went to prep hoops camp and he went to the college the HBCU camp, and he did his thing. And I brought this team up early in the year, and this is my last time talking about them. But Dutchtown,
Goons.
hey, they gonna have a three-headed monster. They got Jermaine Man,
Yep.
they got the Goon Camp, but they got a kid named Isaiah Placide. Oh, sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. I've been calling your coach, all your coaches, make sure
Hey,
I
man,
pronounce
keep
your
playing
name
well.
right.
We'll get it right.
Yeah.
Keep playing well. We'll get
But
it
I
right.
don't know, three-headed? I might say four-headed. They got another kid.
Who's
a
the other
Hobbs kid? I can't think of his first name, but I saw him during the summer. They got four dudes out there that can go.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm still gonna say Dutchtown win 5-8, but this is the last time I say it. But man, Isaiah was a goon, like maybe 6'3", 6'4". He was just doing it all, and I just felt like he may have not stood out at all the other camps because just of the, maybe the talent level wasn't it, but he stood out since the start of the camp. Drills, he's going hard, he's talking, he's active, and I think that goes a lot with the program he's with, with Dutchtown. Also the ANU program. He, Coach Williams from Georgia Achievers, she does a good job out there on the south side with those kids, and she's always promoting her kids, always active in the community, and just getting her kids out there. And so when I found out the kid was at Dutchtown, I looked at her, and she just started smiling like, yeah, that's mine. And he was just gooning. Like, he's one of the kids that I feel like is going to have a breakout. See, he averaged about 12 points last year. And I think this year is going to be one of the years he's going to stand out.
I got a shout out to the homie David Jones too, man. I wasn't able to make it to the HBCU camp, ended up having to work, but David Jones went out in my place and did an excellent job of recruiting kids at that camp and also at the prep showcase this weekend. That I want to make sure that we give love to those events, but like we all know, we can't be everywhere at the same time because there's so much stuff going on. But a couple of kids that he noticed was Jordan Mays,
Out of
the
Washington
point guard from
County.
Washington County.
Hey, out of
Lightning
Middle Georgia,
quick.
yeah.
And from what I hear, he got grades too.
Yeah.
Got grades too. So
Hey, so yeah, hold on. So coaches, that stigma about kids below the airport don't have grades is not true. We have players in Middle Georgia, East Georgia, South Georgia, North Georgia that have grades that can play. So get your lazy butt up, get that rental, and go out and see these kids. It's more kids outside of the Atlanta metro area that
Worst
can play.
case, make some calls, do
100%.
something.
100%. And Jordan has certainly made an impression. I saw his name
Yeah.
start getting tweeted around a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I love that Washington County community getting some love. Also, Logan West, a 6'5" power forward from Jacksonville School of Advanced Technologies, played well at that camp as well.
I
Wanted
got
to
his
shout
name
them
listed
out.
too, yeah.
Dave Jones, spotted those kids, so he did a great job recruiting that camp. The prep showcase was this weekend. The prep school kind of thing is something that I'm wanting to try to get more into to kind of understand who's doing a good job with their kids and what kids are out there, because at the end of the day, we're talking about free education for kids.
D free, Corey
So-
Black, D free.
Not exactly. Not all of these kids that we name are always gonna be D1,
Division
high
I,
major,
yeah.
whatever kids, but
They
if
can play at the next level.
They can play at the next level. And the next
It's
level
all about using basketball to pay for your education.
100%.
That's what it's
True.
about.
That's what it's about. So I want to talk about Elijah Wilson, 6'4" combo guard for the Georgia Knights prep. He's in post-grad. Played well during that post-grad event in multiple games. Ron Bonner, 6'4" wing from Newark Prep, post-grad kid. And then Xavier White, that is a 5'10" guard from Southern Basketball Academy. We're talking about all prep schools that are right here in our city that you could go see all the time. And I believe they have another showcase coming up that we'll be trying to make their event as well. So
Hey,
great job for
And
those kids.
speaking of prep schools, Middle Georgia Prep beat Combine Prep last week.
Hey, listen,
Hey,
I
hey,
was
Georgia
told.
Prep.
They beat Core 4. You talking about Core 4?
I
Core
was
4.
told-
I'm sorry,
Core
Core
4.
Yeah, Core 4, Core
I
4.
was told that Middle Georgia Prep is the best prep school here by multiple people.
In the state.
Now,
Hey,
now,
In the
now we
state.
now we talking about all preps?
No,
What are we considering TSF?
That's a prep.
we
That's
can
a
consider
prep.
whatever
That's a
they
prep.
want, but I
So
was
they say-
told
so
that
you- they say-
TSF can't beat Middle Georgia Prep. That's what I was told.
Have they
That's
played
what
before?
I was told. I was told by
Hey.
somebody who watched a bunch of those games that Middle Georgia Prep
You
will
know what?
beat, that they beat Core
Rob,
4,
Rob,
that they
I don't
will
know if
beat
you watching,
TSF.
Rob, but
Hey, listen, man.
Hey,
I'm
ask
just
Corey
reporting
Black
the
to
news.
set the matchup at the JUCO event at Lake Point or is that McEachern.
We wanna see
set
it.
the
Yeah.
matchup up, Corey Black, Chris Watkins. We want to see Middle Georgia Prep versus TSF, man.
Smoke in the city, baby. I want to see
TSF,
it. Let's go.
we need your first team, not the other teams.
Yeah.
The first team.
Bring them out.
and before we move on, you mentioned the JUCO stuff. We want to really shout out that the JUCO report, the showcase, the tour they have through Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
We are a Georgia show. We
Yeah.
have listeners and people that watch from all over, but that JUCO showcase tour is really big. It took place
Valuable.
about 2 weeks ago.
Valuable.
Or a week ago, I'm
Yeah, about a
sorry.
week
And it's
ago, yeah.
I mean, there are colleges that come through, from all these JUCOs that we have through Georgia, and it's kind of taken a different effect as Gwinnett kind of did that with their schools now.
It was smart, yeah.
Daniel
Yeah.
Bowles kind of tied that in to make sure that all the Gwinnett schools could get seen when the colleges came through. I don't know if it's going to be something that carries
Yeah.
on to other schools, but it helps in the process.
For sure, for sure. It's very needed. Like I said, we got to cover kids at all levels, right?
Oh, yeah, most
they,
definitely.
They need that coverage. We got to match those kids up with schools where they can go play at the next level again, continue to get that education.
And talking about camps, I shouted out Trent the other day, but every day I look on Twitter, somebody from that camp is
Getting
getting some
offers.
offer
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
from that prep hoops 250. Like,
For
shout out to
sure.
Trent. I think he's the hardest working man
No, he
in the
is.
business.
Yeah, he works hard.
He is.
I mean,
He
I
is.
mean,
In the
He
gym.
really is.
he
In
works
the gym.
hard.
In the gym.
Yeah.
Trent, I don't agree with your rankings, but
No.
just gonna let that know. But we ain't
No.
always gotta agree for me to
Yeah.
shout you out. I feel like
Man.
you do a good job. You do an incredible job. You always in the gym. You see him
Yeah.
posting from practice,
Pra-
from
early
workout.
morning
Yeah.
practice.
Yep.
Like he's dedicated.
I mean,
to
he's
his
going
game,
to
so gotta
watch
shout him out.
workouts. He's going to watch everything.
100%.
So you might not
Yeah.
agree with him, but you can respect it.
I
Yeah,
can
you can
respect
respect
it.
his
because you know he's in
opinion.
the
Yeah.
gym.
You
I
can
can
respect
respect
him,
it.
yeah.
I look at
Yeah.
that the same way my relationship with Kobe Bryant, dog. I never a Kobe Bryant fan, but I always respected him.
so
I always
disrespectful.
respected him because he never.
So you like the rankings who put like all the dudes above Kobe, like that's you.
No, never, no.
Like just hate, just
No,
because,
not
like,
at all. Not at
okay.
all. Biggie should have been ranked way higher than that. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that.
disrespectful.
Yeah, that's disrespectful. I ain't going out like that. Hey, I see we got questions in the group chat. I see you guys. We're gonna talk about Douglas County basketball. If you watch our show, we love Douglas County.
We've talked about him.
We shout
talked
out
about him
Douglas
every
County
week.
episode
Was it
3.
Jalen Jackson?
Jalen Jackson.
Man,
Yeah, go back and watch episode 3, man. We love Douglas County basketball, man. But keep watching, keep
Yeah.
rocking with us. So quickly, guys, the two. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to call these the events of the year. Right?
Nah, it's too many events. It's too many events.
I won't
You
say
can't
It
that.
is
say
too
that.
many events.
These are two events that I circle.
These are two
every
high-level
year
events. High-level events.
that I'm gonna tell you how I feel about this event. The first event that we're gonna talk about is 2 days after my 40th birthday. This is the weekend that I turned 40.
Sheesh.
We're gonna make it to the gym.
And look, so that's the thing. I got a phone call that said, hey, what are you planning for your 40th? What are you doing? We want to do something for you for your 40th. What's your game? I don't have any plans, but let me check what's going on. And I saw that this event was the same day that they were planning to do something for me for my 40th. And I said, hey, we got to do something Friday. We got to do something Friday because I can't miss this. On the radar is having their tip-off classic. That is a must-attend event.
Most definitely.
These matchups, again, I mean, Sean has done it again. West Side Macon versus Thurl.
Let's go.
That's your guy. That's your guy versus maybe the best defensive guard in Georgia.
Let's go.
I'm pretty sure that Coach Johnson gonna put Roman's son on Mr. Reeves.
I don't know.
Now they might put
They might put
what's-
Robbie. No,
They got the wing too. What they got a
no,
Ray Sean.
Ray
What's
Sean,
what
yeah.
got his last name? They
But
put him-
you got Javion Mosley.
That's right. That's right.
You know, them ain't no powder puff.
That's
a
one
good matchup.
That's a good
yeah.
matchup.
We got Lanier with Sion James, the Tulane commit, versus South Cobb, who we've
crazy.
talked about extensively on this show.
Crazy.
That's. I know Coach Mochi gonna be ready for that.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
another-
I want to know if Coach Mosher's going to sleep the night before. You got to deal with Sion and those guys in Lanier. That's not a pushover game. That's not. That's not one of them games that people look at and be like, oh, yeah, this is the big. You know what I mean? Lanier is going to kind of sleep by some people who don't,
Yeah, they are.
ain't in the gym watching basketball all the time. Hey, they not about to play with South Cobb.
No, they're
They not
not.
about to play
They're
around
not.
at all.
They're not.
It's a way for Coach Mayweather to put his stamp on that program at Lanier.
It's going to be a
Yeah.
dog fight, but you're going to have to do something about Zacho Littleton. And I don't know that you
Well, you can't just talk about Zacho now.
Gonna have-
That kid from Mississippi.
Yeah, Iman.
Hey, Iman with the kiss the rim left hand banger. At the end of the day, dog, Zacho Littleton, I've said this a million times. He is the only true freshman that I saw getting boxing one in varsity games. Dog, I saw on 3 separate occasions, I saw people double him on the inbound, so he couldn't even bring the ball up. I can't even remember the last time I seen somebody do that to a freshman, bro. I can't.
Let's just keep.
I can't. Okay.
We're gonna talk about them
Let's
again
go.
later.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Pebblebrook versus new Ohio State commit Eugene Brown and Southwest DeKalb.
I got
Hey,
Man, I'm
Pebblebrook.
so happy for you.
I got
just
Pebblebrook.
wanna
I'm
say,
happy
I'm
for
so
him. Yeah,
happy
I was
for
very
Eugene.
happy to see that.
I'm so happy. I felt like after that Norcross game and Hoops
Yeah.
Given that kid was about to explode on the
yeah.
scene. And I'm glad
He had the
that he
momentum.
got what he
Yeah.
deserved.
He had the
man,
momentum
even after
going.
the injury. I'm happy for him.
Hey, hold on. We can't just pass by Pebblebrook
I say
2021 class.
Pebblebrook is
we
loaded.
can't, but I mean, we just got so much to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
to.
let-
We're
let-
gonna
all right,
talk
yeah.
about Pebblebrook again.
Hey,
so we're
all
gonna
right,
talk
yeah.
about Pebblebrook
That's time.
again.
Yeah, let's go by yeah.
George, we love you. We know
Yeah.
you're loaded.
Coach Maxwell, you've been talking, and you get your wish. Rematch versus McEachern from the first round of the state tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Go. Let's go.
Hey, you gotta call your
Let's
team to
go.
redeem.
I mean,
Hey,
this
that's
might
all
be
you
his
need to
chance.
redeem
This
team.
might be his chance to get him, though.
Let's go.
I mean,
It's a
more
good
so
way to
the-
start the season.
Yeah,
That's an incredible game.
Yeah, it is.
this might be his chance to get him.
It keeps going. Burkmar versus Grayson.
Hey,
That's gonna be a track.
That's
meet.
gonna-
That's two title contenders in
Yes.
7A.
If you are a college coach and you are anywhere near Atlanta on November 16th, you better be in the gym. There are D1 guys, D2 guys all over this.
Throughout
all
the
over
day.
this matchup.
Throughout the
yeah.
day.
We're talking about from 10 o'clock in the morning to last game played at 8 o'clock at night, and you got talent all up and down
we
the
still talking about the Archers versus Collins Hill. The Lambert, Colin Granger versus Discovery. So it's not just because we haven't spent a lot of time on those games. Don't mean there aren't players in those
yeah.
games.
Most definitely.
I
and
like
then
Colin Granger too a lot.
the end of the night, you get the new look Norcross, Blue Devils
And
versus Jabari Smith.
you get your wish. Everybody will be at that Jabari. You go see Jabari.
Right, everybody
Let's
gonna see
go.
him.
You get your
Let's
wish.
go.
You
Hey,
get your
y'all better
wish.
come out and see Jabari Smith, man. Y'all better come watch this show. Y'all better come watch this show. I just believe in.
Hey, man, do y'all know how big Norcross could be?
Yeah, they're gonna be huge.
Quincy 6'6", Josh Taylor 6'8", the
Just
other
not
kid from
UGA,
Huntington
yeah.
Prep 6'8",
Man.
JT Thor 6'8",
We
6'9".
can't- But man, Sandy Creek got talent all up and down that daggone roster, man. Like,
Athletic
do?
talent, yeah.
yeah.
You just don't know the names.
No,
you know
you don't.
Deshaun Proctor.
Yeah.
Deshaun
You
Proctor.
know
Deshaun Proctor.
Jabari Smith, but they got other dudes now.
They
They
do.
can go. They can
They
play.
got Coach
Athletes.
Brewer's son, Morehouse head coach's son.
Son, yeah.
Yep.
I forgot about him.
He was
'Cause
hurt
he
last
was
year.
hurt.
Mhm.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Now he's a sophomore,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
I forgot all about him.
So that's a loaded event, man.
Heck of an event, and I just want to shout out to Sean Williams. He does so much for the kids in our community that he won't tell you himself, right? But man, he built a platform for nothing else but to serve the kids in this community, and kids are getting offers, man.
Left
he
and
built
right.
something
Yeah.
that's changing people's life every single day by the work that he's putting in, man. So shout out to Sean, man. That's somebody he ain't never gonna pat himself on the back, but somebody that deserves to be acknowledged and respected.
And then, you know,
Hey,
it'll
man,
be
it's
2 long days for me.
that time of year.
It'll be 2 long
Heavyweight
days
hitter.
for me.
It's that
but
time of year, man.
Holiday hoops giving.
It's that time of year, man.
At Holy Innocent.
Hey, this is my Christmas. This is my Christmas. I get holiday hoops given and hard in the paint. This is my
Oh, yeah.
Christmas.
Hey, man, you.
Hey, hospitality time.
All right, hospitality season.
I think these jokers just love the hospitality rules.
Hey,
Hospitality
Other than the
season.
hard in the paint.
Hey, hard to
Hey,
paint food be
man,
pretty good.
Winfrey
man.
and Carey,
Popeyes,
man, they throw
By,
it
by,
down.
the, by the way, Winfrey and Carey, we waiting on those matchups
They-
now. Let's
yeah,
go.
yeah, we
Yeah,
waiting
man,
for
let me
'em.
see him. We want to break them on the show.
But we talking about holiday hoops giving, and we've been talking about South Cobb so much, and here I go. Now I got to worry about what I'm going to do with Zacho Lillerton and all
Hey.
these dudes.
Do not box him on him, please.
Please, yeah.
Hey, I got to win a game, man. What are you talking about?
Hey, for the culture, huh? Play man for the culture.
Please
dog.
don't box him
Okay.
on him
And you
or
tell him not
anybody
to press
else.
me then.
He gonna press you.
Hey,
So, I mean, that's an 11:30 game, fellas.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's tough.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
but then you got, we go
Slowly.
back to Eugene Brown and Southwest DeKalb versus Tucker. That's a
Yeah.
DeKalb County rivalry right there.
Yeah.
That you get a holiday hoops given. And then Mountain Brook out of Alabama. Y'all know how good
Yeah,
they
Mountain
are.
Brook is
They're
good.
always good.
They always
Yeah.
So that's why we said we're going to wait to talk about Pebblebrook.
Yeah.
That's a tough matchup for Pebblebrook.
Did they play them? No, South Cobb played Mountain Brook last year.
South Cobb usually always plays like Mountain Brook somewhere in a tournament. Then you get your Sandy Creek again. They get a little taste of Burkmar.
That's going to be a
I wanna
good
see that
matchup
too.
where all that
I wanna
size
see that.
Mark got.
And now the size of Norcross versus the size of Green Forest.
Yeah.
That's another great matchup.
Roy, I'm still calling. You have a 2023 16, 6'11 kid that's 2023. I have a 2023 team. Roy, what? Okay, we're not people. I will bring you a Popeye's chicken sandwich, though. It's
You
not
gonna need
enough.
more than one. You need
Yeah.
about 4 of them things.
Then we get to see some of the best out of Memphis, Tennessee, Memphis East
Memphis
versus
East,
Grayson.
yeah.
That's going to be a matchup. But I think the most slept on matchup that I want to see is Young Scooter
Yes, sir.
versus Carlisle
Oh,
and Thornton of Milton. So Kale versus Milton.
For sure.
that.
And
That's
you
some
want to know
good
how
guard
great this
play.
event is? That's in the back, Jim. Because you just got
Yeah.
so many matchups
Hey,
and
but
teams.
you know what? The first time I saw Meadow Creek, and when I discovered Meadow Creek, and
What, 2-3 years ago?
in the back gym and
Yep.
Hoops Giving, and you know who was back there watching? Bruce Pearl. I sat back there with Bruce Pearl and watched Meadow Creek play, and that's when Wes hit me. Wes was back there with me, and Wes was like, "Hey man, they're gonna win a state championship. Give me a year, give me 2 years, they're gonna win a state championship." And then boom, they exploded, and there it goes. There goes Meadow Creek.
So, you got that one day.
Yeah.
And I got to figure out Carlisle and and Bruce the next
Hey,
day.
look, man, I always
That's
love,
tough.
Look, I always love how Huff try to hit us with the coach speak.
I gotta figure it out. I gotta figure it out. You gotta figure
Hey,
it out.
dog, come on.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I don't know
what.
what. Lord help me. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
He got all
I
kind
only
of.
got a 5-star, 6'5" shooting
Right,
guard over
yeah.
here with me. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Man, you got Chance Moore. Man, come on, Huff, dog. He playing, bro. And Garrison Powell.
Hey, man, we We're a work in progress.
Here we go. Here we go.
You got one of the best 2021 kids, period. Just flat out, period. And Chance Moore. And then you got a 6'4" point guard in Garrison Powell.
So
and Huff Cop and Please, man.
Hey, man, this is year one. We
here you go.
working,
right.
we grinding.
Hey.
No, people forgot
Let me
about
ask you
Chance.
this.
People forgot about Gas.
When is the last time you had 2 Division I guards in your backcourt? 2.
2. We would have to be back in
And
St.
tell us what
Francis.
happened.
All right.
And
Look
tell us
what happened. And look what happened.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
I guess
End of
they
discussion.
came in our gym very early when that was going on.
End of discussion. End of discussion.
And speaking of St. Francis, they got a great matchup versus Wheeler that second day.
Yeah.
That's
That's
gonna
gonna
be
be
good.
that's gonna be a real good one. Your old stomping grounds,
Who?
Westlake.
Westlake.
Who they got?
Westlake versus Pace.
I'm going with the Lake.
Oh,
He called it.
say it here first.
He called it.
Hold on,
Over.
so you
Wait,
going
over
against your
Matthew
kid
Cleveland
Madison?
and Madison.
Those my guys. I'm just saying. I'm just going with them just because that's where I came from.
Okay.
And then Grayson gets a little bit of Mountain Brook. You know, that'll be interesting. Pebblebrook versus Berkmar.
Pebblebrook is gonna be
George,
tough,
you haven't,
man.
Hey, listen.
you haven't shot away from anything.
I gotta applaud the matchmakers and these tournaments and these platforms that y'all giving us for high school basketball. Y'all giving us what we want. Now, I'm just gonna throw one shot, coaches. Sometimes programs are built at 9 a.m., 10 a.m., or in gym 2, or in gym 3.
What you saying? You can't get mad at when you're scheduled
mad.
and where it's
Don't get
scheduled.
mad.
Don't get mad
Especially
at
in
it.
events
Play.
like this.
Yeah.
Events like
You should
this.
just
you
be happy to be on the
Man,
platform.
Go
Yeah.
play, yeah. Go play, go win, earn your respect, get it out the mud. That's what we all about. Go participate, go be in it.
You know, that's probably the biggest, we do the Big South shootout. Chris does Holiday Hoops Giving. Sean on the radar.
Winfrey Hard in the Paint.
Winfrey Hard in the Paint. We talked to
TOC.
Dez and Mays about TOC. The hardest thing is not just securing the teams to get to your event. It's setting the matchups because every coach has something.
Oh,
Jared
yeah.
Cook
I
Classic,
mean,
too.
Jared
Oh,
Cook.
It's
I mean,
another great one.
every coach has. So I don't want to play this early. I don't want to play this team. You don't want to put them versus a team in the region.
Yeah.
Come
You
on,
know,
Just go hoop.
It's
just
just
go
a lot,
hoop, man.
man.
We just want to see your kids hoop, man. Just go hoop.
So, and we talked about, we get to see Langston Hughes. Like, I think Rory Welch is one of those coaches
Fearless.
that we do not
Not give
talk
a
about
fuck
and
enough.
give enough credit to. Dude
100%.
has
He got 2
state
state championships back to back.
Yeah.
back to back.
Yeah. Fearless.
And one of the ones he won, one of his players out of his so-called big three
Oh yeah.
he was
quit.
gone.
Yeah, he
He
quit. He didn't
Yeah.
play in the state
Yeah.
championship
Yeah.
game. Yeah.
Play.
I remember
we just
that.
don't give that dude enough credit, man. They got there the second day. And then, we get to see the Skill Factory doing the Holiday Hoops Giving. For
sure.
We get to see Legacy Chart out of South Carolina. You know how many dudes they done rolled through? Shout out to my guy, BJ Jackson.
Yeah. Shout out to Mike. He's on that coaching
Yep.
staff too.
Bishop
Mike.
Snyder.
It's
This
gonna be
early
great.
part of the season is going to be great.
It's going to be great. And with that Langston Hughes matchup, I want to see what Kobe Davis is going to do, right? Like, he wasn't afraid to put a freshman
That's
point
another
guard out there. and
That's
throw him out
another
there and see
guy.
what's
We
up.
talk about
Like, I
Roman
wanna see
Son.
what it is.
Kobe Davis is another guy who will pick you up 94 feet.
He will.
And keep turning you.
Yeah, it's time for him to evolve now.
He's got to turn the corner though.
I wanna see what
Yeah,
it
Is
is.
it
gotta
going to
turn
be
the corner.
hard? Because
Is he a
Casey
what?
Jennings is over there now.
Yeah, they got some guards over there,
And
and they still have PJ, right?
I mean, but look, man, if Colin Sexton and Jared Harper can play in the same backcourt, anybody can do it.
true.
Anybody can do it. If those two can share
Got to
the
be a
ball,
mindset, though. Gotta be a
yeah.
mindset.
I mean,
I just want to see what the kid gonna do. I'm excited to see it.
We talk about all this, and that leads to the next part of why Georgia is so great. All these commitments we had since the last time we've been together, fellas.
Yeah.
yep.
Like,
It was a big week.
I mean, we know it just happened, 2 days ago? I don't think anybody was surprised by it.
Nah, we
Oh,
weren't.
yeah. Little cool.
Sharif
Little
going to
cool.
Auburn. That was big. Walker Kessler going to UNC, North
Hey.
Carolina.
Hey, I just want to shout out both of those kids real quick. Lock McDonald's All-Americans, Lock Jordan Brand guys. Whatever they want to go play in, they're going to have the ability to go play in. I want to shout out those guys. They've been good for a long time.
I thought about this the other day. You know how we said nobody go see Jabari?
Yep.
Nobody go see Walker Kessler.
Walker Kessler is
Think
a
about it.
7-foot
He's a 5-star,
unicorn.
and nobody goes and see him play.
He is a 7-foot unicorn, dog.
Hey.
With a jump shot, with passing ability, with some handle. Like,
When me and Locke saw him in the state playoffs, that was my first time ever seeing
Oh
him.
yeah,
I was like taken back, like this is
Yeah,
crazy.
first round last
I've
year,
never
yeah.
seen like this dude was stepping out hitting the 3, then he went down low. They get to the free throw line, they couldn't stop him. Like the dude was literally unstoppable.
Bruh,
That dude is good.
I saw him,
He's-
in matter of fact, in Sean events last year at the Tip-Off Classic.
Yeah.
I saw him.
That dude
and
is special.
Against a kid that I respect, Colin Granger.
He
when
went to
he
work.
hit, bro, when he
Went to
hit
work.
homie with that spin, one-legged dirt fadeaway, like it was nothing.
he stepped out, hit the 3.
Except I hit the 3, can handle it a little bit. Like,
He hit that shot off one leg, fading away, boom. Like his facial expression didn't change. Like, yo, this is like I do this.
Yeah,
This is life.
he's smooth.
we're
He's
gonna
tough.
come back to. Well, we're not gonna come back to it. That's a tease for us right now. what comes
sure.
up after us?
For sure. Hey,
Oh, yeah.
Make sure y'all tune in.
Lab
8
work.
p.m. Lab work with Walker Kessler, man. Daryl LeBerry doing a great job
Does
with
a
lab
great
work.
job. I really
Doing a great
enjoy
job
that.
with lab work, and he is with Walker Kessler, the 7-foot unicorn, man. Make sure y'all come and watch it. If you're a casual basketball fan, and if you're not from here, I don't know about you guys. If I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, if Louisville, Kentucky had a McDonald's All-American, you realize how many people would be going to watch him play? We have 2 lock McDonald's All-American. We have an opportunity.
We usually almost have
to
2
get
every year
more-
almost.
Right.
It's getting
Yeah.
like
It's
that.
getting
But the
to point where
crazy
it's
part
going
is,
now.
wait till 2021.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be
gonna
on
be
and pop,
nuts.
man.
It's gonna get nuts.
we,
Yeah.
It's gonna
we,
get
we
nuts.
got more kids we got to shout out with these commitments before we keep moving on. Lamar Odin, Green Forest, going to Drexel. I think that's a great fit
Great
for him.
level, great, yeah.
Brandon Harris, River Ridge, kid from Savannah,
Savannah,
I think,
yeah.
that moved up here.
Shout out to
He's going
Seaport,
Elon.
man. Shout out to Seaport.
Going to Elon. We talked about Eugene Brown. Jaden Walker, former kid of Discovery Night, Core 4,
Yep.
going to Iowa State.
Yep.
Josh Taylor, that was not a surprise. Just
That
how-
came out of nowhere,
Yeah,
yeah.
kind of came out of
Came
nowhere.
out of nowhere.
But Josh Taylor of Norcross going to UGA. Your guy, Jermaine Mann, Dutchtown, Gardner Webb. They got to steal.
He gonna be all conference. In 2 years, he's gonna be all conference in that league.
Kershawn Thrasher, Eagles Landing,
Presbyterian.
going to Presbyterian. And last but not least, I think we kind of all talked about this, especially when his list came out. Jordan Mecca going to Georgia Tech.
And speaking of Jordan Mecca, it's not where I wanted you to go, sir. But hey, you have an opportunity to go.
I know where we all want him to go, but
where I wanted you to go, a perfect time to tease this. Should have been in Kennesaw State with our next guest. We have in studio with us coming up next. Stay tuned with us right after the commercial break. Coach Amir Abdur Rahim, right with us, head coach of Kennesaw State. Hey, Jordan Mecca, that's where you should have been, bro. But I ain't hating on Georgia Tech. Great opportunity, man. Go excellent education. Let me not shit
Great
on Josh
education.
Pastner and their team.
I mean,
and everything
Coach,
going on there. Amazing, but
they do a great job with big men. So
we're interviewing the coach where you should have been.
No shade.
I don't even know if that
No
kid,
shade.
I don't even know if that kid had an offer.
Coach
I'm just talking.
Cowboy, that is Mondre that said it.
The thoughts and expressions of Mondre Allen belong to my. Look, I just want kids. Let me say it before people think that I'm hating on that kid. I just want kids to go places where I know you're gonna kill. Go
True.
kill, right?
Yeah.
But you know,
But
hey,
then
I'm
that kid gonna say you got on a sleepers game shirt. So you trying to say
He's a
can't do
sleeper,
it.
right.
He's a
not
sleeper.
saying, hey man, I'm not
He's a
saying,
sleeper. He's
I'm
a
not
sleeper.
saying that you can't. I'm not. You know what I'm saying?
No,
just
you
look
made
at certain
sense.
kids.
You make sense.
You
You make
want
sense.
you want production over
Yeah.
reduction.
100%.
And you want where he can play, where he can help immediately, more so than
Immediately
down
get
the
a
road.
chance
That's
to
what
be
you're
on the floor,
saying.
take advantage of that skill set. I see him in a kind of a, not just like Terrell R, because their games are different. Terrell R can really shoot it outside, but like when you have a chance to be a undersized forward, sometimes people miss the value in that, and they jump quick to try to want to be a 3 or want to do this or want to do that, and I'm like, yo, man, look, you're thriving in this role and you're blowing up because of the role that you're in. Man, stay in the pocket. Stay in the pocket and go kill. That's all I'm saying. But no, hey, education for Georgia Tech is amazing. Playing in the ACC is amazing. I understand why you didn't turn that opportunity down, young man. Go kill it. I just thought you would have been great somewhere else. That's my opinion.
On that note,
He's going for the education too.
on that note,
Look, man, I'm not shameful about me standing for Kennesaw State. I was standing for
When you was
Kennesaw
firing
State
shots
when
at
I
him.
hated the coach.
and you were firing shots.
100%. I was firing shots because I believed
Andre
in
used
what
to
the
go
school
in.
could
He used
be.
to like
Every
go
day.
in so hard,
Every show.
Look, man, look.
begging them to come to somebody's gym.
You're a city. Look, man. And I'm not saying. Look, I'm glad y'all saying that because people don't think that I'm just saying what I'm saying because Amir's on the show today. I believe that Kennesaw State is a basketball gold mine, and I have for years. It is right here, like you're right in the city. When you talk about guys wanting to flock and come see you play, your fan base, you get to take your fan base with you when you play in Hoops Given, and all the guys that came and see you play in Hoops Given, you get to take your fan base 15 minutes up the road.
True.
Yeah.
And that's an incredible opportunity if you ask me. That's just me. NCAA. Hey,
Boy, what a week and a half.
man, look.
So much stuff happened.
Man,
I feel like this is gonna be a recurring segment because we have no idea what the NCAA is doing from week to week. I have no idea what they're doing. Who you choose to punish and who you don't choose to punish, and how
and
you choose-
why? And
Yeah.
Yeah, and how the infractions work. So the NCAA hit Kansas with a level 1 infraction or multiple level 1 infractions and
there
lack
was-
of institutional
But there was no
control.
ruling, was it?
I don't think so.
So they hit them with some of the most serious charges that you can get.
So here's the precursor. If Georgia Tech gets hit with what they got hit with,
Right.
if we go off that, then man,
Kansas is in trouble.
Georgia Tech got a postseason ban.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that I don't understand. Georgia Tech got a postseason ban, right? Mm-hmm. We believe that Kansas is in trouble, right?
Yeah.
And don't y'all got homie from LSU on tape? And don't y'all got homie from Arizona? Like, hey man, call me when you talk about a Nike school. If you, that's just where I'm at, bro. If you're not going, either you're gonna do this or you're not gonna do this, man. Leave these people alone, man. That's just where I'm at with it because I don't believe the NCAA is sincere at all. Mm-hmm. So if you're not sincere at all, when you really jumped into this thing to come and get bread, when you charging everybody $90 to register for your camp, that's
speak
what
on
the
it.
okay,
You
you get a
register
camp
and you-
invite.
And then you register.
And
for
then,
that.
but you have to get a certification to go attend this NCAA
Which is
camp,
$90.
It takes a
which
lot
is
of process,
$90.
yeah.
So you jump in the game and try to get paid, on top of the billions that you already getting. Fam, just be sincere, man. Be here for these kids. Be sincere about what you're doing. Help us understand what the heck you're doing. I don't get it. You took a live period. Now you're giving it back in April.
But that's the wrong one to give
When we
back.
wanted it in
One.
July.
We need 2 in July.
We need the 2 in July, not the one.
Because our kids change teams.
Yeah, but here's my side of it from the Georgia Tech side. And you hurt those kids, man. Like to do this right now.
Right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They just started practice. You
Absolutely.
hurt those
You heard 'em.
kids.
Yeah, you heard them.
Like kids like Bubba Parham, Georgia product, who's there, who just transferred in, got eligible. Jordan Usher, who's
Jordan
going to
Usher.
be eligible in December.
That's a new
James
guy.
Banks, my former
Yeah.
player, who's there.
Shamari Phillips.
Yeah, all those guys who now.
They
I mean, you
play
never know what
playoffs.
can happen.
You're
Like,
snatching
so
away
th-
their opportunity.
There are some people who say, well, they weren't going to the postseason. Well,
You don't know that.
You
You don't
never
know
know
that.
what's
You don't
going
know
to
that.
happen.
Yeah, you don't know that.
Like, so those kids don't have opportunity anymore.
Yeah.
Snatch that away from you. You took that away from some kids over what? I ain't even gonna say what, but it's stupid.
Don't say.
It's
Don't say
stupid.
Yeah, I don't.
It's stupid, man. I'm not with it.
And then your boy, Rick Pitino.
Hey, Ricky P dropped that lawsuit. Ricky P trying to come back and cover. shout out to everybody from Louisville, man. Shout out to Bellman men's basketball.
Hey
program
man,
as
how
well,
many
man.
times are you gonna shout out like Louisville.
Louisville, son?
Hey,
Oh, just
hey,
wait.
He
Just
shout
there's
out
more.
Louisville, boy. I shout out all
Hey,
big
there's
brothers.
more, dog. There's more, man. That's just
Man,
what
we
I'm
ain't
from,
stunning
man.
no Louisville. We in the South.
Hey,
we
man.
in Georgia.
So,
See,
so,
and that's my- hey, that's
so
my
is Kentucky
problem.
the South?
That's my problem.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
wants to claim us.
Because see, this kid I went with,
Nobody wants to
in
claim
Morehouse
it.
College, he told me that wasn't the South. They were from the North.
Hold on,
So look,
hold on. What?
So look,
He said Kentucky. He was from Louisville, Kentucky. He said they're from the North.
if you ask somebody
That's not
from
the.
Chicago,
That's not the North.
right? Louisville is not is not in the Midwest. If you ask somebody
Correct.
from Chicago, if you ask somebody from Indianapolis, we're not in the North. We're in the South.
Well,
If you ask
Indianapolis
somebody-
Midwest, right too,
If
right?
you ask somebody from, well, I'm just telling you what they tell us, how they be beating on. If you ask somebody from Tennessee, we ain't in the South either. Nobody wants nobody. Hey, but look, I'm gonna give y'all a reason why y'all should.
We gonna put a cap on how many
Later on in
times.
the
We gonna put a cap on how many times you can shout them out, though, bruh.
Louisville.
That's like
Came to the,
that's like me shouting out like, God, like my goodness.
Hey, but look, man, let's go to commercial. We're going to come back. Kennesaw State head coach, Amir Abdur Rahim. I call Locke George's favorite son, but Amir might belong to the first family of basketball while we playing. So we're going to talk about that. Stay tuned.
Fresh you.
Locke, man, we're going to have him on the show. We're going to ask all the questions that you want to know, man. Stick with us. It's Love of the Game, podcast reloaded on SUVtv. Keep it locked.
So I'm gonna either bounce the ball and you have to go gather it with two hands in the air before it hits the ground, or I'm gonna roll the ball. If I roll the ball, you gotta fight me and get to the ball. Once you get the ball, you have one dribble, get to the rim and finish. Okay. Go get it with two. Hey, go get it with two, come on. Finish. Nice. Hey, come on. Finish. Three. Man. All right. We good? That's some good reflexes right there. 5.
I'd rather leave one of them open and just try my luck. The 360, he throws it down. Hey, but if somebody else on 30, it's wide open underneath. I would not. I'd rather. That fadeaway three.
Lane by Tracy. Here's Williamson, makes his way around one tight. Now hustling it toward the lane and throws it down. That's what the crowd had been waiting on. A fantastic dunk coming in by Williamson. Trent, off balance jumper.
Pierre to Gary Trent Jr. And oh my goodness, that's how you end the game, folks.
It's hard. It's hard to do stuff during the season, man.
All right, fellas, we back with the coach. Hey, listen, I'm gonna say something that Coach ain't gonna tell y'all. That he might not be able to tell y'all that he ain't gonna say. So I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna just let him enjoy the moment right now. This man literally walked in with very little time to get it done, and knocked out a top 20 recruiting class at Kennesaw State. Holla at your boy.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Holla at
sir.
your boy.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, I don't know if that's ever been done. Can anybody remember that that's been done? That they've been top 20 in any poll?
the best
I don't
thing
even remember
about
seeing him in the
Kennesaw
gym.
State is,
Yeah.
Coach Engel.
Yeah,
Them
Engel.
winning the
Yeah,
national championship
Engel.
Division II and upsetting
Division
Georgia
two.
Tech.
Yeah.
Being honest, those are
remember
them
that.
the two
Hey,
moments.
I was in high school when he was there.
Kennesaw,
Anyway.
Kennesaw State fans, hey, welcome to the basketball world. You are now here.
Sharpsburg,
You're now
Georgia,
part
you need
of
to
it.
be giving him meals. No disrespect. I'm sorry, NCAA, but
Coach, hey man, welcome to the show, man. Way to
I
hang out
appreciate
with
y'all
us.
having me,
Appreciate you,
man. I
brother.
appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
Man, I've been
No doubt.
watching it for a while, man.
doubt.
It's really cool, man. I was just sitting there watching y'all, man. Y'all got great chemistry, man, on this thing, man. It's big time.
These my dudes, man.
No doubt.
These my dudes.
No
I
doubt.
think we had to work our way to that.
Hey, listen.
Take time, man. Take time.
If y'all fans of the podcast, don't go back to episode 1. Start like at episode 10.
Reload it. Start to reload it.
Start you go back to about 10, 15, something like that. Go back about right there. Whenever we start interviewing Swain and all them, like start back right there. Yeah. Shout out to Swain. But, hey, Coach. So, as the guy said, I was a fan of the program before. I felt like there were some issues. We're not going to rehash that. We're going to go with moving forward, right?
Yep.
Here was my only issue. I love that they brought you in. They brought you in like the day before live period.
It was late. Yeah, no, it was late. It was late, you know. But hey, man, I put it like this, man. You know, it's man, my man Tom Crean at Georgia. He said to me, he's like, look, you got to remember, you in a position of power. You know.
Yes, sir.
He's like, you got a good job.
Yep.
You know, and so it was something, man. Be honest with you, man. It was something that like I remember being at Texas A&M, like the first time the job came open.
Yeah.
And like.
Yeah.
Man, you know, like jokingly, like, yo, man, I will walk back to that job. You know, like
Word.
just knowing,
Yeah.
you know, knowing what I knew, the little I knew about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So this time, like when it came around, it was like, you know, it's like perfect timing in a sense, from a standpoint of, you know, like somebody, you know who it was. It was actually, man, Coach Lanier at Georgia State, man. He's allowed me to pick his brain, you know, like over the years, man, and really good dude. You know, really good guy. But he said something to me. It's actually a summary. He says a difference between being ready and prepared. You know, and it was no doubt like I was prepared for it. You know, so you know, it's like you can't worry about what happened. You just got to respond. So when I got the call, it was like I hit my wife like what you good, and she was like, yeah, let's do it. You know, and you know we hit the ground running.
Hey, that's important, man.
And coach was there too. That first game we had in live period.
First live
Facts.
period. He was there.
Facts.
Yeah.
He was there
Hey.
on the baseline. We played 6 o'clock.
Yep.
Listen, when I walked into the gym with McKeitron and seen him there, I was like, man, this man is out here watching games. He don't even have a staff yet.
Nah.
And that's the part I want to really get to is like,
How you chose your stuff?
not even just how, like the staff you chose is, it's like,
It's late in the game. Yeah.
Ben
I mean, Ben Fletcher,
Out of
who's a
OG.
yeah.
OG.
You got Persian Williams, who people in Georgia know.
Personally in the game.
Yeah, he's been in the game, and then you got,
Tanner.
you know, tell Tanner, just remember, who beat them the year they won the state championship. They last lost the time they won the state
Was
championship.
it y'all? That's good information to know. We take a lot of shots around the office, so that's good information to know. Because if you let him tell it, like they never we was, you know. So that's good to know. Now, man, you know, I would be honest with you, it was just luck. Like it was luck, man. Or better way to put it, man, it was God. Put it like that, you know, because you know, me and Fletch go back. You know, he and I played against each other in college, and then his college coach and my college coach, Billy Kennedy, who I worked for at A&M. His college coach actually was on our staff my last 2 years at A&M. You know, so we would talk, and you know, he'd talk about Ben a lot. So that was, you know, you hate to see somebody out, but just to be able to have the opportunity to hire Ben, you know what I mean? It was a no-brainer. And the way I looked at it was you know, it's like take care of home, right? Yeah. But it's one thing I learned from being at A&M was like, you know, you can recruit the state, right? And you'll have a really good class of in-state kids. But then the next year, you know, the in-state kids, like the 20 or 21s or whatever it is, they like, well, man, y'all already got him at our position, you know. So I'm looking at the surrounding states, right? And I'm like, well, where can we dip into, you know, that's not necessarily you don't got to run up against nobody, but where can you dip into? And man, like Alabama, man, is such an unmarked
Unmarked
territory.
A lot of talent.
You know, and so having him was perfect, and the guys he recruited at Troy, and you know Tanner being at Mississippi State and just knowing who he was, at Wesleyan, knowing who he was at Clemson as a player, and then just kind of watching him the last couple of years, or 3 or 4 years from Charlotte to Mississippi State, it was like, man, to be able to put your imprint, and he takes a lot off of me just being in the state. And then, Pershing Williams, that dude, look, man, all right, and I'm not just saying it to say it, and it is what it is. Man, Power 5 guys out there with all my guys, and I want to see them all win. Man, you get a chance, and you got an opening, and you want to recruit the Southeast, man, you come talk to them, because they're really, really, really good. Not just recruiters, they're great coaches. They really know how to teach. But I think the thing that makes them great is, man, all of them have high-level character when it comes to impacting these kids on a day in, day out basis.
And Persian just comes from that basketball
Man,
family, man. Like his dad, that's OG right there.
No doubt.
Yeah, I heard about his dad.
Yeah, his dad big time.
What was that like? Like, what? Take us behind the scenes. Okay, you stand up there on a podium at the press conference. Man, I knew we had the right guy. Hearing you talk about your wife and your family, I knew then, okay, we got the right guy. We got a guy that believes in the right things, not only just believes in recruiting kids in the state. I already knew how that was going to kind of go, but understanding that family dynamic and how important that was to you, like that kind of cemented it home for me, right? But then understanding that, it was an uphill battle, right? Because, frankly, nobody has seen Kennesaw State coaches in the gym very much. Watching basketball, right? So that was going to be an uphill battle. And then the timing standpoint was going to be an uphill battle. That first day you walk in the gym, man, what are you thinking at that point? Like, is it 100 miles an hour?
No, 200 to be honest with you. Like, somebody had told me, I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was Steve Prohm at Iowa State. He was just like, man, remember to breathe. Like he kept saying, remember to breathe, because he says it's just going to come at you fast. Again, it's luck or God. I'm taking God. Being at Georgia last year, it helped me, right? Because it wasn't like I was coming into something unknown. Like I knew who was still out there, like I knew what our needs were. But more important than anything, I knew what we needed to recruit to start, kind of changing the identity of the program and like who we wanted to be. So, they with me now, and so to have, Terrell Burton and Armani Harris still out there, like it's like, hey, let's go. Like that's like, I need, like we need that toughness. We need that chip on our shoulder. And both of those kids are a lot like me from a standpoint, and I say this humbly and not trying to be on myself too much, but like, man, like I've always been Sharif's little brother, put it like that, right? And so, in a sense, like the underdog, and I love that. Like I love that role. I love my brother too. It ain't like I wear that, right? But those kids, I'm sitting here looking at it, and I'm like, they still out here? Like, all right, cool. Let's get them in the fold, because now, in a sense, that's the foundation of what we're gonna do. So sitting in that gym at McEachern, man, I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, I got so much to cover. I'm looking at this schedule, that I kind of put together. I actually had one of my guys up at Georgia, GA we had at Georgia. He's a beast. He put the schedule together for me, and I'm like looking at it. And it's like, there's no way I can get to all these games. But it was like, I know what we needed. But just being in the gym, like that was the most important thing.
That changed. You guys being in the gym changed that mindset. As a high school coach, changed the mindset of all high school coaches around.
No doubt.
To see that.
So that logo, those colors.
Because Huff, you remember, I think, didn't you say you're a GA? Not your GA, your AD.
Yeah.
Said it. Never,
Persian comes to watch our workouts. He said, man, this is the first time Kennesaw State ever been in IG.
That blows my, like, again, nothing. It just obviously blows my mind.
Listen,
it blows my mind.
I was saying that on our show for a long time, man.
Yeah.
Like, these guys got to be in the gym. They got to be recruiting these kids.
Right.
And just caring about our state. I seen that immediately. But you got guys, big-time athletes, but we're used to winning basketball games, too. Like Amani Harris used to win in basketball
games,
games.
Yeah.
Terrell
Big time
Burton
games.
raised the level at Campbell. He's used to winning basketball
Burton
games.
gave us buckets one year in one game. Like,
Hey,
Man, that dude.
like 30
so
piece.
He
explosive.
gives everybody.
Like he
So
was like he
explosive.
dribbled around,
Win.
like he dribbled circles around it. I was like, man.
And people
Yeah.
they knew it was coming at Campbell. They
couldn't
couldn't do nothing.
Yep.
That dude is so good, man. Like I said this to him, and should share this quick story. He's on his recruiting visit, and you know he kept talking about size. You know, size. I said, look, man, I'm not worried about size. Like I'm really not. And the reason why was this, man. I'm at A&M in 2015-16, our first trip to the Sweet 16. And man, you know, we're fighting this battle, and it's like it's Kentucky. Truthfully, it's Kentucky and everybody else at that time.
Right.
And man, Tyler Eulis has on his team
He's cold.
Killer.
Jamal Murray, I want to say
else
Willie
was
Cauley-Stein.
Think so.
Yeah.
He had, man, put it like this, he had like
He had a
4
squad.
other pros,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
And if you remember, the dude was Defensive Player of the Year
Yep.
and Player of the Year in the
He was the
SEC.
dude.
Yep.
He was the dude.
And
Tyler
we
Eulis
beat
was
him. We beat him in double overtime at our place, and we lose to him in overtime in the SEC championship game. And I watched this dude at 5, just say 5'9". I think that 5'10", that's generous.
Yeah.
And he's the best dude on the court.
Tyler
Animal.
Eulis is a
And we
problem.
had 3 pros on the court: Jalen Jones, Alex Caruso, and Daniel House.
I agree.
I love
And
that.
the dude, he wins them the game. Like
Tyler
he
Eulis
wills
is
the
a
game. So
problem.
like my thing with Real was, man, look, I'm not worried about that. You got a gift. You have a characteristic about your game with his speed and his burst that translates to the Power 5 level. Come on, let's go.
So that kind of brings me to the next question I have for you. Number one, what are 3 things once you took the job and once you had started and got your staff that you said we've got to do here at Kennesaw State? Outside looking in, I'm saying you had to change tempo.
Oh,
And by
absolutely.
judging by
Yeah.
who you guys have recruited,
Yep.
from Armani to Terrell to even the commitments now, you guys are going to play fast.
Yeah, no doubt.
So just kind of talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think last year we were like 351st in like pace of play. It was something crazy, man, like that. And again, I mean, it's a lot of different styles that can win. I mean, look at Virginia, you know.
For sure.
Shoot, I mean, people say they play slow. They won the national championship,
Getting it done.
you know. So that's not to say it's this, that, or the other. But I think, you know, for how we want to be and for how kids want to play, you know, today, you know, we have to be more up tempo, you know. So it is going out and getting guys that, you know, first, like the first characteristic is, man, I didn't, for the lack of a better term, I didn't want any like jerks, you know. Like I wanted kids, you know, I didn't want entitled kids, man. Like I wanted kids that, you know, they were about what we were about, you know, and they wanted to work hard and they wanted to be in the gym and to be truthful, they wanted the relationship, right? Like I wanted a kid like that. The second thing was, man, they had to be tough. Like they had to have some level of toughness to them, mentally more so than physically, you know. And then the third part about it is, you know, man, if they can play, you know, I'm not worried about if he can shoot right now or not, right? Like I think that's our job, right, as coaches, is to help him develop. Right? So let's do our job, you know. So yeah, we'll definitely play a lot more, you know, or up tempo style. Again, being at Georgia last year, you know, with Coach Crean, and that's like big, like, you know, he wants to go, you know, and even with Coach Kennedy, man, like when I was at A&M, he wants to go, you know. So we want to create an identity and have a brand of basketball that kids, not only, you know, kids in the state, you know, first and foremost, want to be a part of and want to play in.
Yeah.
Got you. How do you feel like you guys were being accepted early on? Are kids, do you feel like kids understand the opportunity that's there at Kennesaw State, or is it going to take some time to get them to understand it?
You know, again, when you hire, like when I was fortunate enough to hire the guys that I hired, man, I think relationships a lot of times, man, to be truthful with you, they can, with the right ones, it's got to be, like, it's like sitting here watching y'all, like I said before, like the chemistry y'all have, right? Like it's really, really good, right? So imagine y'all take the chemistry you have and now y'all go recruit. Y'all are going, like y'all's relationships, y'all's chemistry, right? Like it's gonna block out, you know, Midwestern State, the name, right? So in a sense, like for us, the guys I was fortunate enough to hire and then the chemistry we had, it was like early on, it was like, oh, they ain't, like, it's Kennesaw State, but, like, man, nah, that's Coach Amir, and that's Pershing, and Coach Tanner, and Fletch, you know.
Gotcha.
So they were seeing it that way.
Yeah.
Now, this was the thing that was wild to us was, man, we probably had close to 30 kids on campus in the month of June, okay? Every kid, I think, except 2 was like, man, Coach, we didn't know y'all had all this up here.
Been saying it.
And, you know, so
Been
like we
saying it.
asking the question, like, this your first time here?
Yep.
And they like, yeah. And I'm like, all right. You know, like, cool. Like, and then you start to show them, and look, man,
It's just a fact. I mean, Jordan Jones, who graduated 2-3 years ago from Kennesaw.
Yeah.
I had a player that played there. I didn't have an open invite to come to practice.
Yeah.
I didn't have come to a game whenever you want to.
Yeah, no.
You know, as other places around the state, not just
You ain't
in
even
Atlanta.
You didn't even get a shirt, huh?
No, I didn't get a shirt. Right. So if I'm saying that, you can imagine what schools are saying around the state of Georgia or just in the Atlanta area, period. In Cobb County.
Cobb County, yeah.
It's been a complete night and day difference.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Like, this is how I look at it, man. I try not to ever take myself too serious. Again, like, man, I'm a product of William Abdur Rahim and Deborah Hester, right? But I'm the 4th oldest of 13, right? But I'm also a product. I mean, people ask me where I'm from, and man, we've lived everywhere, you know, from East Point to College Park to Decatur to Marietta, and our root, like, you know, people know, you know, our family more so from Wheeler than anything, right? But like, I try to tell people, like, you know, and y'all may or may not, but remember this, but I remember playing, you know, 9 and 10 ball at Sumner Park and Jefferson Gym in East Point, you know, or at Burdett, you know, or at Mark Trail, you know, so like this is where we're from. So it's like, in a sense, like, it would be very arrogant of me to take this job and think that I'm gonna have the success just based off of me. No, like, it's dudes like Huff, right? It's dudes like y'all talking about Sean earlier. I shared this with you, and I think it's a lot of dudes in the state that do a great job, you know, trying to have a platform for kids, right? But I remember Sean. I remember being at Murray State, and Sean calls me, and he's like, "Hey, man, Sean Williams, you know, man, I just wanted to share some names with you." You know, he wasn't charging for service at the time, nothing. It was just, and I'm telling him, like, yo, man, why don't you work up an invoice, send it to me so we can help you, you know, but like you watch his grind, you watch where he came from.
For sure.
You know, the high school coaches in the state, the AAU coaches in the state. Like, man, I'm where I am today, right? Because of them. Like, I've been, like you say, an open invite. Yeah. I've always had an open invite to come to a gym. Like, I've never had a high school coach tell me I couldn't come to a gym. Right. Or I've never had an AAU coach tell me, no, you can't recruit my guys. So I'm not gonna sit up here and act like it's me. You know, I tell our staff that all the time, like, man, it ain't me, it's us, right? But ultimately, like, you know, the fact that we have, you know, in a sense, like, love around the city, around the state, is what's gonna ultimately help us be successful.
100%. Let's talk about this group of guys that you got right now. We talked about Terrell, of course. You got Armani Harris that's there. But you got some guys. You said one thing at the camp, another thing that blew me away too, and I thought this was 100% the right way to look at it. When you was like, no, I'm not waiting to say, oh, just wait till my guys get here. No, I got my guys. My guys are already here.
No doubt.
Right?
No
like,
doubt.
I thought that was an interesting way to look at it. Y'all just cracked open first couple practices. What's it looking like over the first couple of days?
Man, you know what? Man, we 4 practices in, and man, they're working hard, you know, and it's different for them, man. You know, it's like the Wale song, Matrimony, right? Him and Jerry Seinfeld, like at the beginning, and he like.
DC, we got one shout out right there.
You know what I'm saying?
We gonna catch up soon. We gonna catch up soon.
Here we go.
Like, I think about the intro. I think about the intro to that song a lot because, you know, Seinfeld is talking about how growth, right? He's like, any type of, you know, he said marriage is gonna be hard anyway because it's growth. Any type of change is hard, right? So for these kids, man, it's probably been 5 months, you know, of a whirlwind for them compared to, you know, where they were before, you know, because I look at it like this. You in your mind, you want something, right? You want it. And then now you're in the fight, you know, or you're in the mix of it, and it's like, this is what it takes to get here. and you like, man, I don't know, I don't know if I really want that, you know. But to the kids, to our guys' credit, man, they showed up every day. Like we had a kid, like I can't remember having a kid late. You know, they know what our expectations are. You know, the biggest thing is communicate. Yeah. Man, if you hit me and tell me, hey, coach, I got, you know, I'm gonna be 5 minutes late, cool, right? Like stuff happens. But my point is like, man, they're I think they're trying to buy in to, you know, the culture, the standards, the expectations. So four practices in, man, we got a lot of work to do, you know, but I do really love that they show up every day. That's half the battle,
For sure.
right?
Yeah. For sure.
It's half the battle. You know, it's like we got I tell them all the time, 2 expectations. I'm not talking about wins and losses. That's something I took from Billy Kennedy when we were at Murray State, you know, but it's just 2 expectations this year, man. We're going to play hard as I don't know what, right? And we're going to have a high level of attention to detail, you know. And I think if we can do those 2 things, if we can focus on those 2 things, you know, I'm not sure where to end up wins and losses, but we'll be in the mix.
Right.
Yeah.
You have worked for some guys.
Yeah.
Like I know you keep talking about, you know, who you just worked for at University of Georgia, Tom Crean, and at the clinic we just had, Georgia Minority Coaches Association clinic. You talked about how different his footwork stuff was and what you were used to. Obviously, you worked for Billy Kennedy, Texas A&M, and Murray State. Brian Gregory at Georgia Tech. Doug Wojcik at College of Charleston. Like, you work for guys who push you to the utmost, number one, but you've learned so much from those guys.
Absolutely.
So taking over for your own program, what are some things that has just stood out and said, man, I'm so glad Coach taught me this or helped me develop this?
You know what all of them taught me was this, man, be yourself, right? Because like if I tried to come and be TC, or if I tried to come be Coach Crean, if I tried to come be Coach Kennedy or Doug Wojcik or Brian Gregory, then I don't think I would be very good, right? So, you know, I took bits and pieces from all of them. You know, man, I got a desk, and in this left hand or right hand drawer, man, I probably got 15 notebooks of just notes. You know, and I go back and I read them just to try to remember what I was talking about, what I was, you know, so on and so forth. But you know, I took bits and pieces from them. You know, like I think with Coach Crean, man, it's just thinking outside the box, you know, thinking about each player's individual game and how it should be developed, and then being able to bring it together. You know, Coach Kennedy, man, is just the consistency, like his faith, defensive toughness, right? And then I would probably say Brian Gregory and Doug Wojcik both just organization, like, you know, of a practice, you know, how they went about it. It was like, man, it was meticulous, you know what I mean, down to the minute. And now where I probably get in a little bit of trouble is, you know, man, I want to hit everything, you know, I want to make sure. And what I got to remember sometimes, and again, this is where having a really good staff comes in, like a guy like Ben Fletcher, he'll hit me and say, hey man, look, you know, we got enough in, we need to get good at it. You know, like don't just keep throwing stuff in, and it catches you because you like, and you right, you know. We'll get there. You know, it ain't gonna happen overnight. We'll get there. So yeah, no, like I've been fortunate, man. I've been blessed to work for some really, really good head coaches. But not to ramble, but this is the best part. I think what I've actually been able to do is work with some really good coaches in general, from Steve Prohm to Isaac Chu, Kyle Keller, Jamal Walker at Illinois, Chad Dollar, who I've worked with 3 times now, Murray State, Georgia Tech, and Georgia. You know, so just being able to learn from them dudes, I'm where I am because of the people that were, you know, that I was fortunate enough to be around.
For sure.
Yeah.
I want to take a quick question from our live chat. We got guys asking about the elite camp. That was something that people complained about, I think, with the last administration. So the guys are excited in here asking about how the elite camp is going to run, if it's going to exist, like what's going to happen with that.
No, definitely. Like our camp season, you know, again, part of getting the job late, you know, it's like we've all heard it before, man. You get one time to make a first impression, you know. And so the last thing I wanted to do was, you know, rush an elite camp, try to rush a team camp, you know, and then not be a good product, right? Like, you know,
Makes sense.
Man, my brother, when I was younger, he made me major in business in college, right? He's like, nah, you need to go get a business degree. So being a business major, like I know how important it is, like to, put a good product out there. So, next year, we'll have all those things, but we wanted to be ran right. We wanted to be first class. We want to be able to take care of these kids and these coaches the right way, and give them, a really, really good platform to come in and, showcase their ability, showcase the team. So
you do know you stand on the precipice of being able to take over this state team camp, right?
Oh yeah, 'cause
I mean, Georgia State had it on lock for a while.
Yeah. I mean,
The door is open.
Doors of the church
No
is open.
disrespect, coaches there, but the door is open.
Hey man,
Look,
it's definitely wide open.
Yeah, no, I think if you can find a way to think outside the box with it, the thing I try not to do and what I don't want to do is like I think it's really good that the high school coaches have like the team camps, right? And so if I have to sacrifice us having a team camp so the high school coaches can have theirs and they run the right way and with a good competition so they can get a feel for their guys, I'll take that. Like I'm good with that.
100%.
Yep.
100%. Coach, you got some names on this roster that guys that follow high school basketball here in our state are gonna know and remember. Want to do a check in on some of these guys and see, what can we expect, how they're doing, things like that. You got Jamie and Danny Lewis on this roster from Westlake.
Yep.
Saw many of battles, as we talk about Pepperbrook all the time.
Yep.
Saw many of battles with those guys battling Colin Sexton, some of the better guards, pro guys, and holding their own. How are those guys doing?
Man, they're doing good. I think they're showing up. That's the biggest part of it. We're trying to be, we're trying to build men, right? So we're trying to build guys that know, how it is, like, not just basketball, but wake up every day, let's go to work, right? And so the thing that's interesting about them, and we're trying to, always take into consideration is, man, when you've been at a higher level, when you've been at the Wake Forest, when you've been at Central Florida, and then you have some adversity, and now you got to come down. And it's like, okay, does the mindset change? Does the approach change? Or is it what happened? And or whatever it was. And in those two kids' case, they're showing up every day, man. They're working. We're trying to, build on their strengths. We're trying to break some habits too. Keep it 100. We're trying to break some habits too. But man, like for me, I want to see those two kids do great. They get a lot of probably unfair, criticism being from here, and so, like again, it's the chip on the shoulder. Let's go get it. Let's go, not that you need to prove anybody wrong, because like I tell them all the time, look, man, we're not competing, against anybody else or what, no, we're competing to help our, to be better than, like versions of ourselves. Sure. So in those two kids' case, man, they're working at it every day. They're fighting for it every day, and they just got to continue to build on it.
Coach, my favorite movie quote of all time is it was a quote that said, "How did the nobles become noble? They took it at the tip of a sword. They took it. That's how they became noble." So when I look at programs like yours, right? What's the difference between your program and a program I've compared you guys to, like a Gonzaga?
Well,
Wins, some wins,
right?
Longevity.
Final Four.
But it had to start somewhere.
Yeah, no, I know
right?
what you're saying.
It had to start somewhere.
I think it's about vision, man. Right? At least for me, it is. And man, it's like this, man. Like, man, it's hard because you look at something and you want it to be like now. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But again, like I say this again, man. I was Sharif's little brother for the first, man, I think maybe when I finally graduated college, they was like, oh, Amir, like, so, I think it's vision and not swaying on that vision, not swaying on those beliefs, right? And you're right, like you gotta be, in a sense, I'm not, you gotta be cocky a little bit, not arrogant. You gotta be cocky though. You gotta believe in it enough to know like you can get there, right? And so when I'm talking, to kids and parents, like, man, I'm not worried about if people's like, oh, it's in the ASUN or it's Kennesaw. Like, no, like this is what it's gonna be, right? This is who we are. This is how we're gonna go about our day-to-day. This is how we're gonna love and care for your son, right? But this is what it's gonna be, right?
100%.
And you know what? If we fail, it's not gonna be because we didn't try, because we didn't go as hard at it as we could, right? I don't know like how you know how it's gonna go. I know though we're gonna get to where we need to get to.
I like the experience that you coming along with. To me, a coach that got it done, you've been a part of a staff in the OVC that got it done, that not only made the tournament, but then went and won in the tournament.
No doubt.
You know what I mean?
Like I share this with you, and this is what a lot of people don't know, and I see the picture of Ja right here, right? And so, man, when my first year at Murray State as a GA, all right, the staff that came in, like the coaches who had took over that job before, they, for the most part, man, them dudes walked into loaded rosters already, you know, 7 seniors coming back, you know, a pro here, a pro there, or a pro coming in, right? Man, we signed 11 guys.
Wow.
11 guys the first year. And so you walk in that joint, man, and like those people, like you can't tell them it's not Louisville, right? You can't tell them it's not Kentucky, right? Like they like, hey, let's go play them, right? And we could, cause we can beat them. And you like, hey man, they got Anthony Davis and them dudes, right? But my point is like, you know, we built it up, you know, so like we built it back up, right? So in a sense, like I never hate on nobody. Like I love where it's at, right? Because like in a sense, if it wasn't for what Coach Kennedy, like his vision for it, right? And to believe in it, and for the people up there to give us the time, right, to get it back to where it was. Like to see them still thriving is great. Like think about this, man. Murray State in the last 10 years, okay, has not been without a NBA point guard. Isaiah Cannon, Cameron Payne, maybe a year or so in between that, and then Ja Morant. Think about that. So like it's great. So when I see Kennesaw State, okay, like I don't know if y'all have ever been to Murray, Kentucky, but that's a hard place to get to.
Yeah, for
okay?
sure.
It's like the westernmost part of it. I mean, you could get to Tennessee, Illinois, Missouri, and like somewhere else. Like you're closer to those state lines than you are Lexington and Louisville.
100%.
Right?
Yep.
So we were able to get it done there because of a vision. Now, you talk about Kennesaw State, okay? And Kennesaw State, man, we sitting 20 minutes, no traffic north of downtown Atlanta, right? With a great campus, with facilities,
Great facilities.
with facilities, with really good academics.
Can't beat that.
Hey,
Can't beat it.
listen, kids, I'm going to just say this one thing, man. Again, I got to say some stuff that maybe Amir will not say. Look at the league. Look at what's going on in the league and who's dominating the league right now.
Mid-majors.
Steph, Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum.
CJ McCollum.
Like, you talking about guys that went to the place where they were supposed to go and develop early. And you got a guy sitting right at Kennesaw State that has worked with pros and developed pros at almost every single stop. Right? Like, I mean, Alex Caruso can hoop, by the way.
Oh, he killed it.
He can hoop, by the way.
He killed it. I tell people this every time. Man, 2 years of coaching that dude. Never had to coach attitude, never had to coach effort. That's why he a pro. Right there. That's why LeBron love him. I'm just telling you, like, you know, but I mean, think on this.
Here we go.
Like think on this though. Like think on this. So like we've been talking about Reef, right? And so the cool thing, you know, about your older brother is your older brother, man. Sharif could be a sanitation worker or a janitor, right? And man, I'm gonna love him no matter what, right? But it's really cool to have been there on that journey of watching him, you know, go for 13 years, you know, from like people don't remember like we lived in Laurel Valley on Terrell Mill Road, man, and he used to have to walk across the street to Windy Hill Village because Windy Hill Village had the full court hoop, right? So he would go over there to get his work in, right? And get put on punishment because he wouldn't be back in the house before the lights came on. Mom is like, what are you doing? And he walking back in sweaty with a ball in his hand, right? So like he's where he is not a mistake, right? And so now like him having played 13 years and worked on been on the coaching staff, worked in the front office, and now being the president of the NBA G League. The thing I ask these questions, and not only to him, but just other relationships that I've been fortunate enough to build. And what kids don't realize is, if you look at the draft, right? If you look at like guys who are in the league and they're playing, NBA teams are starting to look at and sign more mid-major kids these days because those kids, they're not entitled. They know how to work. They know how to be pros. And that's half the battle. It's like, my thing is, it's a ton of dudes that have gotten there. But look at the dudes that have stuck. You got to look at it if you really if you say you really want to be a pro. Go somewhere where, and it may not be here. Like, I tell dudes all the time, this ain't going to be for everybody. It's not. And then we can't take everybody either, right? For sure. But go somewhere where you're going to be allowed to grow, where they're going to be with you through the hard times, because that's what people don't talk about enough. Your first year of college, I can still remember being in Garden City, Kansas, in junior college, right? Yep. And man, so it's like, you call mom, like, Ma, I ain't feeling well, like, go get some cough syrup. Like, that was her reply, right? Yeah. Right. And this lady, she loved me, but it ain't nothing I can do in Atlanta and you in Kansas, So you better, I was fortunate enough to have, a head coach and assistant coach in junior college, man. Them dudes, they wasn't gonna let you fail. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, kids, when they thinking about it, man, go somewhere where you can be who you are, right? Within the team aspect of it. Because never forget, if you make it, you're gonna be the 13th, 14th, or 15th guy. It might be days you go 7-8 games, or a stretch where you go 7-8 games where you don't play. And when they call your name on that 9th game, you better be ready, or else they'll write that little league minimum check and be like, man, all right, go ahead and do what you need to do. We're gonna go get somebody else.
Amir, I'm glad you announced that you went JUCO.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of kids that turn their nose down, and now you are head Division I basketball coach, and you started off at a JUCO.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, right, our journeys, right? Yeah. And that's part of my journey. Like, I think about Garden City, Kansas all the time, man. Again, if you ain't never been there, look. But the truth of it about it is this. It was probably one of the, I shouldn't even say one of the worst places, because it was a great place because it had great people. It just wasn't the ideal place to be as an 18-year-old kid from Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
But it's no question in my mind, it's the best thing that's ever happened for me, because I was forced to grow up. Like, I had no choice. Like, my mom, I never forget, me and the coach got into it, right? And this is, like, you talk about being humble and learning and growing. I get into it with my head coach the second week I'm out there. Man, I take my jersey off, I throw it, I'm like, I'm out, I'm going back to Atlanta, I don't need this. Man, I called my mom, I'm sitting in the locker room, coach come in, like, what you want, a bus or a plane ticket? I'm like, a plane ticket, right? Like, called my mom, like, hey, I'm coming home tomorrow. No, you're not. Hung up. So you can turn your nose down at JUCO if you want, but there are a ton of pros that have been. Which one is this camera right here? There are a ton of pros that have made it out of junior college. Okay, there are a ton of Hall of Famers that have made it out of junior college. There are a ton of just really, really good men, basketball players, professionals that have went junior college. It's about opportunity, right? You might not have the opportunity from the Division I level that you want, and junior college gives you that platform in order to, think about it. I came out of college, out of high school, the only offer I had was from Southeastern Louisiana, right? From Billy Kennedy, okay? Like, he signed me, like, never seen me play, just on the strength of, like, a relationship like he had with our family. I go to junior college, I walk out, and I'm supposed to, I visited UCF in Southeastern Louisiana. I was supposed to go to Dayton the next weekend. I didn't want to go nowhere else. I knew where I wanted to go because I knew who believed in me from the jump. So you talk about going from having basically none, because he just did it on the strength, right, off GP, right? He's like, I'll keep it a buck with you, right? But I walk out of there, and at one point during college, I had Texas A&M, I had Oklahoma, and so on and so forth. But for me, I wanted to go somewhere where I could be who I was, Yeah.
Man, I didn't know. I mean, me and you go back. I didn't know Billy Kennedy went that far back with you.
Oh, man. Billy Kennedy was an assistant at Berkeley when Sharif was there. He recruited Reef. That's what a lot of people don't realize. Like, he recruited Reef.
Like, people don't understand that relationship
Relationship.
and what it means.
Yeah.
Matters.
Like, that stuff matters.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not sitting here like I shouldn't say I never wanted to get into coaching. I never had the thought of getting into coaching. He was the one who said, hey, look, man, he knew I wanted to get my master's degree, right? So he said, hey, look, I just got this job up at Murray State. He actually got me on at Miami, right? He was an assistant and got me on at Miami. And he was like, hey, if you still want to take the Miami GA spot, you can do that. But I just got this job at Murray State, and if you want to come, like, man, like, just come help us out. We'll pay for you to get your master's. I said, no, I'm going to roll with you. Like, you my man. Like, you know, like, I'm going to roll with you. And so, like, that's kind of how it was started. So, you know, I get my start there, you know, and I actually skipped a step because I go from being a GA, and I actually came back to Wheeler in between, like, it was like a month and a half, 2 months in 2007, no, 2008, no, 2007, and take a job at Wheeler. And then 2 months later, coach calls me back. Jamal Walker left and went to Ohio, and he's like, look, if you want this job, it's yours. So I didn't go from being a GA to an ops guy. Like, I went from being a GA to you on the road. You see what I'm saying? And so, like, I was fortunate. You know, I go from there to Georgia Tech to Charleston. You know, we had a kid at Charleston, a kid named Joe Cheeley, playing for the Hornets right now, right? Like, it was vision. Like, he wanted to go somewhere where he could be him. But then I get a chance. Like, I'm trying to work to get to the Power 5 level. Coach calls me. He's like, look, man, I got a couple openings on my staff. What you think? And now I'm married, so I can't just like, yeah, I'm coming. I go down there and see it. You know, I go down there and see it. My wife, she probably watching, but I go down there and see it. I come back like, yeah. She like, you think I'm gonna like it? I said, yeah. Man, she get down there. Man, she get down there. It's like a Target. You know, and College Station is great. You know, but it's like you an hour and 15 minutes from Houston. You know, and she originally from Brooklyn and lived in Orlando. So this is like culture shock to her. You know, so you know, just to be able to now like come full circle and be back home. You know, and in a major city. You know, doing what we're doing is great.
Coach, when is the first time that we as fans are gonna be able to see this team? Are we gonna have a black and gold joint, or what's going on?
No. First time you're gonna be able to see us, November. Well, you know, all our games are streamed live on ESPN3. So if you want to check it out, you can. I mean, we got 18 of our 30 games on the road this year. You know, it's just kind of schedule we inherited. Yeah. So, and look, man, ain't nobody gonna feel sorry for us. You know, it is what it is. But November 18th, you know, we thought about doing kind of a black and gold game, but man, I wanted to do something, you know, where it was a little bit more of a engagement with our campus, engagement with our community, right? So like we're gonna do on October 28th, I think it is, we're gonna do we're gonna call it the block party on the green. It's like a popular part of campus, you know, center part of campus. And we're just gonna do a block party, you know, invite students out, invite the community out, you know, us and our women's basketball team. And it's really just our chance to interact with them, you know. Sure. And then as we go forward, we'll do a black and gold game or like you can't do Midnight Madness anymore, but something similar to that, you know.
I miss that. I miss Midnight.
Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do.
What can we expect to see? What is this team, the identity of this team gonna look like? If we say we're watching Kennesaw State play, you know, I knew when I was watching Rick Pitino, I knew I was gonna see him press the whole game. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you kind of know what you're gonna see. What are some of the things that we know we're gonna see from a Kennesaw State?
Man, you're gonna see a team that competes at a high level. There's no question about that. And I don't say, you know, you hear some coaches say, yeah, if we don't play hard, they ain't gonna like it the next day at practice. You know, like I'm not saying that. You know, our identity is gonna be our effort. It's what we can control. Right? Like it's what we can control day in and day out is our effort, our attitude. So, man, we're going to play hard, defensive-minded team. But I want to play, man. I want to give these kids freedom, man, like to be who they are, you know, within the team concept, you know. And I stole this from Coach Crean. I love it. Like, I'll never forget the first time I heard him say this. You know, he says, man, you ain't going to hear me tell the kids no a lot. I might say not yet, but I'm not going to say no. And because think how much of the game is confidence.
For sure.
Right? Think how much of the game is not necessarily feeling good, but feeling good about who you are, like in the work you, right? You know what I'm saying? And so if my kids are out there running down the court and they're second guessing their natural instinct, their natural ability, right? Now I got to do a good job of helping them understand, when we want to go, time and score. What's a good shot? Like, because we want to get great shots, right? Yeah. Like we want to have 18, 19 plus assists a game. That tells us if we're playing as a team. But I don't ever want them coming down the court and second guessing like their natural instinct. That's what the game of basketball is, right? Like, sure. I mean, think about the best to ever do it. You think about MJ, you think about Kobe, right? Now they were obsessed with this, obviously, but like it's natural instinct. Yeah. It's natural. Like they work hard at it, but they're still going off natural instinct.
Reacting.
Yep.
Hey, he said Kobe. Y'all caught that?
That's my guy.
I give him Bean.
All right, so you from Atlanta?
Yep.
Metro
Atlanta.
Now we
Go ahead, Locke.
Now
we talking.
No. So, what music are you playing in your locker room?
I like it.
What you
I like it,
playing?
man. We stole this thing from Ryan Saunders with the Minnesota Timberwolves. It's called Soul Start, right? Mm-hmm. So every day before practice, or like if you walk in my office, a lot of times, you're gonna hear some Jeezy, you're gonna hear some Cash, you're gonna hear some Goody Mob, like that's who I grew up on, But like you might hear some Bankroll Fresh, you might hear some Rick Ross.
Like a buck in the building.
You're gonna hear a lot of Nip Hustle these days, right?
Yeah. Don't play the baby.
I don't even know
who that is.
Lil Baby. Lil Baby.
Hey, that's what
Lil
y'all
Baby.
when y'all be talking about Lil Baby, I be like, I don't know.
It's way too many babies.
Yeah, it is.
Like for
Lil
me.
Baby.
All
the kids want to listen to Lil Baby right now. He the hottest in the streets.
Yeah, I mean, I love music, man. You know what I mean? So, I got me and Matt Verdon. Y'all know Matt Verdon. Me and Matt Verdon, man. We share playlists all the time. So. Man, I love music, but like a lot of days, I let the guys, I let the guys kind of pick it, So, I'm a little open to everything, and whatever they put on, they put on. But if I can't understand it, like Migos, like I'm good on Migos. Like I love Migos. People sleep on Migos.
Migos, they got some bangers.
Oh, they sleep on Migos. They tell you they'll say it ain't real hip hop, man. Whatever, man. Whatever.
Gunna too. Gunna low.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so before you go with that one, you played in Metro Atlanta.
Yep.
Give me 5 hoopers that you played against and saw that you were just like, man.
Yes.
Look, man, this is nothing against like this day and age.
I know.
This is nothing against 2000 to 2010. But man, if you came through this state between 93,
I said 93.
Yeah, 93 and on. The
Better
dudes that came out of here, Deion Glover, Reef.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so many of them. Like I was telling somebody a story the other day. Octavius Terry. Y'all don't even know who this dude is. Okay? This dude was the second, he was the number 2 point guard behind Jason Kidd when they were coming out. He went to, I believe it was Washington. Or you talk about Martise Moore. Them just some old school dudes. Darren Hancock, right? Yeah. They don't like people like you. You talk about. I know you from Albany, but you talk about Vonteego Cummings. You talk about Larry Johnson out of Savannah Beach, right? Mm-hmm. But then now from there, man, I mean, you can't like Lou Will.
Oh,
man. I remember watching Lou Will. I remember watching South Gwinnett Wheeler at Georgia Tech. And Wheeler was Sherrod Curry, James Florence, J.T. Tiller, that whole crew, and it was Mike Mercer and Lou Will, and Wheeler beat them that night. Mm-hmm. It's way too many to name, man. Like, to be honest with you,
I know.
There's been some dudes that have come out of here, man. I mean,
Lou Will was different.
Lou Will was a bucket. I think I played against Lou Will. Yeah.
He was different.
Sherrod Curry was good too. Like
Sherrod Curry was
I played against
bucket.
him. I played against him.
Sherrod.
I almost like wanted to quit basketball.
Like Sherrod Curry, like think like Sherrod
Wheeler
Curry
was so good back then.
Oh, Sherrod Curry goes up here to Providence, man, and like people like down here almost forget like who he was. Like I guarantee you right now, Sherrod Curry will walk into any gym in the state or in the city right now and get buckets
and bust you down.
No doubt.
Coach, this is the one place that high school basketball players in most cities that I've been in, places that I've visited, are not superstars. This is the first city that I've been to where high school basketball players are superstars, man. Like, on another level, like from the crowds and the fans and stuff. When you go back, was that the same deal when you were playing? Was Sharif a superstar? I wasn't here for that.
It was
he
like I tell you like this. This is the best way I could put it. I've never witnessed it. It may still happen. I don't know. I remember Wheeler, Marietta, 1995. Okay. And Deion Glover, Travis Zachary, they had a ton of other dudes at Marietta. Wheeler is D.A. Lane, Antoine Dixon, Ryan Wheeler, Russ Wheeler, Sharif. I mean, I think it ended up being like 7 or 8 dudes off that team. And it's at Wheeler, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, before that game, you got JV girls, JV boys.
Right.
Halftime of JV girls,
It's packed.
packed.
Nobody else.
You cannot get in. Okay.
That doesn't really happen anymore.
No, my junior year of high school.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
We still doing those.
Yeah, my junior year of high school.
That's early.
I don't know. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen it.
Maybe
the
for
McEachern
college.
Norcross game in the state tournament.
But see, you don't have. But
Westlake and Pebblebrook might have done that, but that's still early.
JV
though.
girls
JV's
game?
early.
That's
Yeah.
A JV girls game. Think about that now.
4 o'clock.
Like
That's
Madre,
early.
Madre, think about this. My junior year,
You said JV girls.
JV.
That's like 4:30.
Yeah, that's 4:30.
I'm thinking of varsity
Yeah.
girls.
No, that's
for
what
that work.
Like my junior year, we're playing Marietta, and this, D.A. Antoine seniors now, Ezra Williams, Maurice Rose, some other dudes at Marietta, right? And JV boys now. It ain't quite like Reef and them. Like I think it's JV boys is closed. So we got this back door in the old Wheeler gym to our locker room, okay? And so we go out at halftime of the girls' game to shoot. We go sit up in the stands like we used to. We walk back in to our locker room to get ready. Man, I swear it's 30 dudes in there. It's 30 dudes in our locker room. We go out, like when we go out for the game, they come out right behind us and they stand on the baseline. That's a true story. If you think I'm lying, find D.A. Lane, find Antoine Dixon, find Ezra Williams and ask him. That's a true story.
Now, that's
Ezra Williams.
that's
I remember
somebody
that
people
name.
don't talk about right there.
Bucket.
Dude, bucket. Cross half court. Bucket. Man.
So we talking about Wheeler, man. Let's talk about Wheeler for a minute. Educate me on this. I'm assuming Coach Lip was there for all of this, right?
For all of but this is what most people don't realize. In 91 or 92, the head coach at Wheeler it wasn't a basketball guy, he was the tennis coach. So it was a tennis coach.
Right.
He just like, hey, I'll coach the basketball team too, right? I don't know if you got an extra stipend or something like that, but it was the tennis coach. Right. And then 92, 93, I think it was Reef's sophomore year, coach gets the job. And, they get better. They go from 4-20. They were 4-20 his freshman year, yeah. And I think they won like 17 or 18 games the next year. And in his junior years when it got crazy, they went and beat Savannah Beach, who at the time, like Beach was like Larry Johnson, Kenyon Jones, like all these dudes. They were they were ranked in the country. And when they beat them for the state championship on the next day, on the front page of the AJC, it said Wheeler, the Giant Killers. Oh, you know what? That wasn't even a championship. That was the semifinal game. Yep. And then they beat Valdosta in the state championship, right? And then the next year, and this is how good the state of Georgia was, right? The next year, Reef is hurt to start the year, and Wheeler, I think they dropped a couple games, but then they run through the rest of the state. They get to the state championship game, and they get beat by Dunwoody. Dunwoody went 33-0 that year, and it was E.J. Jacobs, Ray Harrison, Atiba Prater. These are all guys that went and played Division I basketball. They were 33-0. You see what I'm saying? And so Lip, and then from there it was that run, where they won one, and then we were just really, really good the next few years. And then when they got to, I think it was like 2002, I think they go 2002, 2004, 2005. 2000, maybe 7, and then 9 and 10. And that was like the run. Like that was, I mean, that dude is the architect of Wheeler basketball.
What is it that you take from being like a part of these programs? What is that like anyway? Just being a part of a program like that. What is that like?
Man, I mean, think about it. It's just like you get a taste early on of what winning is and what it looks like. But I guess more importantly, what it takes. Right. You know, because man, it wasn't a just, hey man, we just gonna go get the most talented guys. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of Wheeler's championships, maybe not the 9 and 10, you know, because by then, you know, people were like kids were moving like it wasn't no tomorrow. But like early on, the Wheeler teams that won, like they were all kids that fed up from East Cobb Middle School.
Okay, from the feeder program.
Yeah, from, you know what I'm saying?
Sherrod was the only one.
Well, but like what a lot of people didn't know was Sherrod and Lip are family. Like that's his cousin from Gainesville. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, I think Sherrod was the only one on that team. Like, but JT Tiller, James Florence, BJ Corley, all those kids, they came from East Cobb Middle School. You know, so what it did for me was, you know, from a young age, you know, it gave you pride, like in what you wore across your chest. You know, me and my little brother, man, we were water boys, right? For those early Wheeler teams, you know. And so you wanted to, you know, they would always shave their head the first game of the season, you know. So, you know, you do the same thing, you know, you shave your head. You know, this like now this ain't by choice no more. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's probably because I was shaving my head back then, you know, but like it just gave you like a sense of pride and belonging and togetherness. And when you think about this game, man, when you think about life in general, like it's about, you know, it's not about like what happens, it's about who you do it with, you know, like who you come up with, you know, who helps you grow, who helps you get to where, you know, you want to be. And for me, like I want to be around people that are going to, you know, tell me the truth, you know, whether I'm right, whether I'm wrong, man, tell me the truth.
100%.
Yep.
100%. Are we ready to make NCAA predictions and tournaments? Look, man, I'm going to be wild. I'm going to push it. Guys, you got to know if you commit to a place like that, if you win the league, you're in the tournament.
Yeah.
If you win the league, you're in the tournament. And that's why we play, right, for a chance to be on that stage. And that is that something that in year one, I know it's crazy that you talk about to kind of set the tone with the kids to say, man, look, this is the goal. This is where we're trying to go.
You know what, man, I hadn't talked, like again, like we kind of put our two expectations. I don't want to sound like I'm giving you coach speak, you know. I don't want to do that. I heard how you was messing with Huff earlier. You know, I don't want to sound like I'm giving you that. But like, man, what I try, like I'm trying to give them things that they can control, right? Because I mean, think about this. We could go ball, you know, and the other part about it is, you know, man, you could go, you could win the regular season and get beaten in the ASUN tournament, and you in the NIT, or you at home, right? So I try to give them things that they can grab. So I'm not quite ready, and I'm not sure if I'll ever do it because again, for me, you know, the result is a part of the journey. Right, the result comes from the journey, you know. So I try to keep myself, I try to keep our guys locked in on, you know, the journey part of it. Hey, this is where we're starting, right? And you know, we're gonna hit valleys, right? And then we're gonna hit peaks. We might hit another valley, right? But through it all, like we gotta stay connected. We gotta stay close because, you know, it's like the old Hove lyric, you know, as long as you stay the same, it'll come back around. You know, as long as you work the same, like it's gonna come back around. You know,
Man, that's my favorite rapper. What are you talking about?
You be in the hole?
Man, yes.
Oh, my bad.
You know, what he said? He said, one day you up, one day you down. As long as you stay the same, it'll come back around. Like, so I just look at it like if we can focus on like everything, if you can focus on everything in between the start and the finish or the result, like the result will be what you want it to be if you really work, you know, in that area.
Take care of that.
Yep.
Who's the funniest guy on your team right now?
Funniest guy on our team. That's a good one.
Hey, I know one thing. Jamie used to freestyle in the locker room at Westland.
Really?
Yeah, he's nice.
I didn't know that.
I know you two were into rap battles.
That's good.
I actually have
some
some bad footage on my phone. I still got it. Like Coach Rogers would be right there, and then Schumer would be over here, James, and next thing you know, they just, I'm like, what the heck going on?
Yeah, nah. Man, you know what?
We playing the instrumental, Jamie. I want to hear
No,
your
I'm
16.
serious. He got to do it this week. Yeah. I didn't know that. He got to do it this week.
He would. He go.
No, but man, you know what? Jamie is actually pretty funny because he'd catch you off guard, you know, because he's a kind of reserved kid, and you'll say something, and somebody else will say something, and he'll just throw a little shot in there, and you like,
Come on, nowhere.
He will.
oh, you talking today, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, yeah, all right.
Well, Coach, I'm going to tell you, we can't wait to get a chance to see those guys on the floor. Can't wait to get a chance to support the program long term and support all of these kids from the city the same way that we do in high school. We coming to one of our favorite parts of the show, Coach. You're free to stay with us, man. South Georgia's favorite son about to get
chilling.
loose. South Georgia's
South
favorite
got
son
something to
about
say.
get loose, man. It's time for the South got something to say. This is the time where we
I like that.
let Locke tell us what's going on in South Georgia and keep us up to date on what we need to know. South got something to say. Let's get it out.
Yeah. So this past weekend, I went down to the South Georgia Fall League, hosted by a good friend of mine named Robbie Givens and Lee County High School basketball coach Kervin Davis. And it was the last day of the league. It was like a tournament championship format. And America something to end up winning the league. With the new, they lost their coach, Coach Hoppower, but they won the league. They got a kid that I think coaches need to check out. Especially like a lot of JUCO mid-division 2 coaches. Trey Brown was one of the better guards that was out there. I saw the kid, Maurice Ellis from Monroe. But another team that I was shocked to see, and they lost a lot of talent, was Thomasville. Coach Tillman keeps kids.
Got him back again.
Yeah, I feel like he's gonna make I might say not to say a deep run in 2A, but I feel like they're gonna make some noise.
Like for calling state champions now. I mean, you gonna go ahead and call it?
Nah,
go ahead and call it, Locke.
Man, I be getting in
called a
trouble
couple
that. See,
already.
every time I call something, the next day I get like
Somebody
20
gonna
messages. I get shut us out. But that was a great fall in. Also, man, I didn't make it today because I had to come here, but I'm gonna try to make it. Corey Black has one of the best fall leads.
For sure.
And he say no workshop, no jump shot.
Ooh, I
So
like that.
Before
No
every
work shot,
fall
no
league
jump
start,
shot.
he brings a coach, a mentor, someone's in to talk to all the kids before they play.
Yeah.
And if you don't attend, you cannot play in the fall league. Wow.
That's good stuff.
That's good stuff.
That's good. That's good.
And so shout out to Corey Black. Like I said, that's something that I'm planning to catch hopefully next Sunday.
No work shot, no jump shot. I'm with that. Yeah. That's the South got something to say. We're moving on to our last segment of the day, or you don't even know it. And Coach, you're welcome to join in on this one if you want to. This is our tradition of how we always close our show with you don't even know it. Our time to tell people a fact of any kind, basketball or outside of basketball, of something that they sleeping on, that they ain't paid attention to, and we call it you don't even know it. Everybody was itching to go first the other week. I think.
Let me go?
I think B. Will got something. Are we gonna be able to follow you, B. Will?
You should be
B.
able
Will
to.
about to get in his bag right now.
Nah. But I knew we were going to talk a whole lot about Georgia basketball today. So I've been on my grind lately, doing a little bit of my research. I got my roots, my DC roots.
No doubt.
So I just wanted to just let it be known that the DMV, well, when I was there, it was the area, but now it's called the DMV. The DMV has some of the best basketball, if not the best basketball players, products, so on and so forth, that ever play basketball. And I'm just gonna drop some names for you.
Here we go.
You might
Just
not
gonna
make
drop
it
some
out
names
through
for
the
you.
week,
Here we
man.
go.
Okay. We of course, everybody knows KD. Everybody knows Kevin Durant. Okay. Juan Dixon, Steve Francis.
He ain't play high school ball, so he can't.
Steve Francis, I think he's from Virginia. DeMar Johnson is one of the best basketball players to ever put. James White. Kids, if you don't know who James White is, James White was probably the only dude who could jump from the free throw line.
He was
right?
doing it in
Windmill.
2000.
Windmill.
Yeah, he was doing it
Right.
in 2000, yeah.
Keith Bogans. That's the
Strong
Samantha
name.
product.
Strong
Right.
name.
Joe Forte.
Joe Forte. Right here.
Joe
Thank
Forte, where'd he go to high school?
No. Joe Forte went to Campbell High School, if you
Thank
remember.
you.
Then you ain't
Joe Forte went to Matthew.
Ain't that one, bro.
Joe
Joe
Forte, just like so that's like saying that like let me just shoot it. I don't know if I'm supposed to interrupt or not.
you
Let me
good.
just shoot at you.
You good.
That's like saying all the kids that go to Oak Hill are from.
Okay. But I'm pretty sure
Joe
that Keith
Forte
Bogans
from
and
here.
Joe Forte played together at the Masters.
They did.
Okay, but he's from here.
He's from here.
Okay, I give you
Yep.
that one. All right, we'll take that one off the list. Mike Beasley, bucket.
Bucket.
Okay, Jeff Green, Rudy Gay was all Met in DC, bucket. Quinn Cook, we already know.
Yep.
Ty Lawson. The list goes on and on and on and on. We don't have time for that.
You gonna say Dave East?
Who?
Dave East.
Dave East is from New York. You talking about Dave East? Who?
Yeah, he's from New York.
Yeah, look at you, man.
He went to
No,
Richmond though.
he
He
went
went
to
to Richmond.
Richmond.
Yeah, he went to
Okay,
Richmond.
okay, you went to Richmond.
Richmond, Virginia.
No, he went to the University of Richmond. He played at the
Oh.
University of Richmond.
I'm talking about DMV. Anyway, my point is the DMV, like, we gonna get a shout out today. My Redskins are horrible. It's all good.
Be with us in the fall.
But
I know.
we got some hoopers in that area.
Well, your name went on the list.
Hey, I can
Hey,
post.
that's terrible.
We didn't have Instagram and Twitter back then, but I can pour some
Yeah.
some papers for you, some newspapers for you.
There you
Got
go.
you.
Yeah, man, hold on. You need to pull out the street smith. They don't know about that.
They don't know nothing.
They don't know nothing about the street smith.
That was like
That was
yeah.
the
Yeah.
original.
Like if you was in street
right?
smith, you was like
Yeah.
you was
You
real
were
if you was
big,
in
yeah.
street smith. Yeah. Ain't no question.
I don't want to go.
Okay, I'm gonna let y'all rock. So, I was looking at some stuff and something came across my timeline, and it kind of it blew up in Louisville circles, but not necessarily like blew up, but a conversation piece. Man, Rajon Rondo might be
He is cold.
the best basketball player to ever come out of.
Rondo.
The
is
city of Louisville.
He's so cold, bro.
And I'm like, it stunned me for a second. Like, I went to high school with his brother. I remember Rondo when he was a little kid or whatever. But he might be the best basketball player to ever come out of our city. And people are saying, so what, man? Who came out of Louisville? But like, I'll name just a couple names. I won't go as far as my man. B.
I got
Will.
more if you want.
Yeah, we got B. Will got a legion. But Wes Unseld won MVP his rookie year in the NBA. Daryl Griffin, Dr. Dunk. I don't think if I got to explain to you who that is, we got problems. Allen Houston.
Yeah.
Derek Anderson, pre-knee surgeries.
Yeah.
A monster, played on the Kentucky 96 team, probably the best basketball team. I would put Kentucky's 96 team and UNLV's 1990 team probably is the best basketball teams I've ever seen play, along with like Duke's like 2000 team. Those are my teams when I say dominant college basketball teams are best. Derek Anderson on that team. Jason Osborne, McDonald's All-American, 6'8" point guard. DeJuan Wheat, my personal favorite basketball player of all time is DeJuan Wheat. Led University of Louisville in three-point shooting until just recently. I think Russ Smith broke it in like 2013 or something like that.
Yeah.
Russ Smith broke his record, but DeJuan Wheat, Unsi, my favorite basketball player of all time. Dwayne Morton, Golden State Warriors, Central High School great. Dwayne Morton was getting busy. If you went to 5-star when Dwayne Morton was at 5-star, he was giving you buckets, and he only weighed 37 pounds. He was giving you buckets.
Man, y'all got a long list with people where y'all from. Let's move on.
Hey,
I'm finna kill
We talking about-
everybody. I'm gonna say one name. I'm gonna destroy every
We
name.
just talking about hoopers, but Rondo, I hate the fact that he went to Kentucky just the same way I hate the way Derek Anderson went to Kentucky, but
Here you go.
he might be the best. He might be the. Hey man, Kentucky didn't even have black fans until Derek Anderson went there.
don't start.
Rondo might be the best.
We would get through one show. I
He
know.
might
gotta
be the
get
best.
one shot
Look,
in.
I didn't go. Okay,
He
good.
didn't get one shot in. That's
Rondo
why I was
might be
trying
the-
to stop him. I knew it was coming.
Rondo might be the best basketball player to ever
Yeah.
come from the city, man. Most accomplished. He's an
Rondo
NBA
is,
champion.
no doubt. Rondo is
He's
good.
He's playoff.
He is.
Playoff
He's
Rondo
so
is a
good.
thing because of how great he is, man. Shout out to Rondo, repping the city always.
Oh, well, everybody talking about their city. That's how I talk about mine.
D'Angelo Russell, my bad, I did forget
And I don't care what nobody say. He's the best Georgia high school basketball player ever. D'Antonio Wheatfield.
Facts.
I knew he was
And-
something.
Facts.
I knew he was.
He's not killing my list, though.
The new generation ain't gonna know, but the OGs
He was a monster.
in
was
the
a monster.
early '90s,
He was nice.
He was LeBron.
Westover won 4 state championships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was LeBron.
Yeah.
That was unheard of. So shout out to Westover, Coach Boston, and you probably remember Michael Spurrier,
Yeah. Yeah.
best point guard behind Allen Iverson, coming out of high
Wow.
school.
Yep.
Hey, we
I
gotta
saw
bring
him in the
back
high.
our Throwback Thursdays, dude.
Wow.
We gotta
Yeah,
bring
we-
back Throwback
yeah.
Thursday videos, man. We gotta educate y'all young boys on some
yeah.
of this. Y'all gotta see, y'all gotta catch these D'Antonio Wingfield highlights, bro.
Yeah.
Oh,
Y'all gotta catch
It's
these.
on, it's on YouTube. Check it in.
Y'all gotta catch
Yeah,
these.
monster.
So having Coach on the show, now you don't even know it, goes back to as a graduate of Mays High School, during the time that we talked about.
Like man up.
From about 1994 to I'll say 2006, that's the best basketball
Yeah.
in Atlanta. By far.
Better than 2017
Better.
2017.
It was more spread out.
with Colin and all them dudes. Better than
Man, that was one
More
of the best
spread
years.
out.
Really?
You had people from South Georgia to North, like Michael Dean. Do you remember him from Coosa? Cross half court, put it in the hole.
pulling up from 40, which is shorty.
I'm telling you, I mean, Amir.
I'm with you. Yeah.
The best
that-
basketball.
We just said Michael Maddox who went to Georgia
Like put
Tech.
you know, and that's now you know what it is. It's no knock on like Colin and them
Yeah.
dudes, right? But this is what it'll be, man. It'll be, you know, probably 2030, and then we'll start like somebody will be talking about that era, like that space from Colin and them to then, because
Yeah,
you know, like these
yeah.
next few years is about to be epic, right?
sure.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, man, 94 to 06. Man, it's the dudes that came through. Like, I'm going to tell you the dude nobody talks about. Now, my man, my guy I played with, D.A. Lane, I put him up there,
Yeah.
like, with anybody. And I saw it every day at practice, right? But I'm going to tell you the dude nobody talks about, and they don't talk about it enough, is Tony Akins.
I was just thinking that name.
They don't talk
I
about
was
him
just thinking
enough.
that name.
Yeah.
Like, they don't talk about him enough.
Right.
Like people like you look at Burkmar now, right?
Yeah.
Like he was the one to put Burkmar on the map.
Yep.
Like they don't talk about him enough. Like not in the city.
Yep.
Fellas, as we always end this thing, we always say there's just so much talent and so many players.
It is.
Got to shout out to our fans, man. Appreciate the international love that we get in Nigeria. We love you.
we got Nigeria?
Japan, China. Yeah, hey, man, we booming. Hey, we booming. Hey, we got Nigeria. We got South Africa.
Well, young Joe.
Man, we got a couple countries, man. We got new listeners in Sweden. Shout out to you guys. Love you guys. Love our international listeners and the love that we getting from overseas. Our guys in Texas. I am watching your guy, the Wheeler kid that's at Georgia right now, the little point guard. I'm watching. Yeah, I'm watching y'all kid. We keeping an eye out for him. Hope we're going to treat him good, show him some hospitality, give him some Chick-fil-A. We're going to take care of him down here, man.
love it.
But appreciate all our listeners in Texas and everywhere else. Don't forget, Love of the Game Reloaded on SUVtv. Make sure you go watch Lab Work with Daryl LeBerry and the Unicorn, 7-foot
Kessler.
Unicorn, Walker Kessler. It's Love of the Game. I'm your host, Madre Allen, and we out.